Cubs are back to work at Hohokam after their only off day of the spring. And beginning today, we get a better picture of the 2008 Cubs team we'll see come March 31st at Wrigley Field. The beauty of crunch time is upon us, and spring training rolls on from Mesa. Next. Hopefully we can take this beautiful Arizona weather, bottle it up, and bring it back home to Chicago at the end of the month. Just a perfect day for Cactus League action here on Comcast Sportsnet. Cubs back in action after an off day yesterday, and they host the Kansas City Royals. And welcome to Mesa. We're at Hohokam Park. Bob Brenly and Len Casper. I said crunch time as we started the broadcast today, and we may see today the opening day lineup, depending on what could happen over the next 2 weeks.
I think you're going to see the starting 8 position players that will be in the opening day lineup, maybe not in this order, but it's that time of spring training. You want to get your starters together as a unit to see how it all best fits together as we move forward for the last week and a half of spring training. One
of the other big questions is, will Jason Marquis be on this roster when opening day hits? There have been trade rumors. Will he go to the bullpen? All he has done is pitched pretty well this spring.
Well, to his credit, after the comments early in spring training, and I can't fault him for that, Jason Marquis is a veteran pitcher who thinks he knows his best position on the ball club. After the comments were made, he decided to clam up and let his play on the field do the talking, and to that respect, he's pitched extremely well.
Cubs won on Sunday. Again, the off day yesterday. They come in 5 under 500. The wins start to mean just a little bit more here over the final couple of weeks. We are set for Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Ron Santo in the house, or at least somebody with a Ron Santo jersey. A lot of Cub fans in Arizona, and we'll bring you the Royals and the Cubs next.
Cup holders, researchers say, is one of the top reasons women buy one car over another. Not horsepower, not available features like an 8-inch nav screen or black leather trim. Nope, cup holders. Maybe those researchers need a little quality time with a different kind of woman.
Visit your Chicagoland area Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Show us you embody Chicago sports, and you could win an all-expense-paid 3-night trip to Rio Vallarta and Riviera Nayarit, Mexico. Presenting the fans' best friend getaway. Brought to you by Apple Vacations, America's favorite vacation company. All you have to do is send a picture to Apple Vacations at ComcastSportsnet.com, depicting why you are Comcast Sportsnet's best friend. It's that easy. Send a picture and you could win. Don't miss out. Enter the fans' best friend getaway. Only from Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Last week, if you just got the scores, you didn't get the whole picture.
I just had to do a better job of dealing with my frustrations instead of acting the way I did. Now I just want to get this over with and let this team focus on making the playoffs.
Jerry, Carlos, and I are on the same page. If we play well, we'll find somewhere for us. We're all too talented just to sit.
How can you be anything but unbelievably proud of this team? A group of incredible fighters, overachievers. That's the story of this team.
Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Every game in HD, coming soon to Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
The Cubs come into today's game 7-12. The Kansas City Royals are 10-9. Eric Patterson signing autographs, and a great crowd, especially for a Tuesday. In fact, Bob, the smallest crowd the Cubs have had here at Hohokam Park, 8,800. Most teams would die for that sort of crowd, and Cubs have been over 12,000 many times. Right now, the second best home attendance in the majors, trailing just the New York Yankees. 65 degrees, feels a lot warmer in the sun, low humidity, and a sunny forecast as the Cubs take the field behind right-hander Jason Marquis. And now the Kansas City Royals starting lineup under first-year manager Trey Hillman. David DeJesus will be the opening day center fielder. Alberto Callaspo won't be the third baseman, but he might make the team. Mark Teenan left. Ryan Sheely in a battle at first base with Ross Glode. Esteban Herman at second. Mark Grudzelanek out with a back problem. Mitch Myers in right. Matt Tuckman catches. Tony Pena Jr. is at short, and John Bale does the pitching.
Take a look at the Cubs defensively behind Jason Marquis today. As Len mentioned, this is probably the opening day lineup in some way, shape, or form. Alfonso Soriano in left, Felix Pie in center, Kosuke Fukudome over in right field, Ramirez, Terrio, DeRosa, and Lee across the infield. Giovanni Soto will once again be doing the catching today for right-hander Jason Marquis. Talked about the controversy swirling around Jason Marquis early in camp, but he's gone out and put up some very respectable numbers this spring. Opponents batting only .273 against the Cubs right-hander. He's faced the Angels of Anaheim, the Oakland A's, and also the San Diego Padres. This will be his fourth start of the spring.
Gary Darling will be the home plate umpire. Montague, Winters, and Schreiber around the bases.
Well, Len, you talked about the crowds here in Mesa, all around the Cactus League, wherever the Cubs go. And we were commenting before the game started, a lot of the same people sitting in the same seats for every ball game. One of the most loyal followings of any sports team in America.
Left-handed swinging David DeJesus will start it for the Royals. The corner men are in. And we're underway. That's a strike on a sinking fastball in the outside corner. Marquis winds, and the next pitch, he is too low. I was talking with Kerry Wood before the ball game. He said he's sore because of an off day. Most guys are used to just kind of going right at it. That's a fair ball. Crank pass. Derek Lee into the corner. Kosuke will go get it. DeJesus might be thinking three. He is. Relay throw coming from DeRosa, and it's going to be not only late, but past Ramirez. Marquis backing up as he's supposed to do. And that's a leadoff triple for David DeJesus.
Well, that ball was scalded down into the right field corner. Derek Lee with barely time to react down there at first base. That ball gets by him in a heartbeat. Rattled around down in that right field corner just long enough for DeJesus to go for three. Marquis a little late getting over to backup third base, but fortunately the ball caromed off the bleachers, came right back to him, and DeJesus had to hold at third base. Good speed on the bases for the Royals at the top of the order.
So switch hitting, Alberto Callaspo now. And he fouls it off to the left. That'll get back out of play. So is that true? I work out a little bit, not that much. You get a little stiff, a little sore after an off day when you're going 32 days in a row or whatever it was for the Cubs?
Well, for finely tuned athletes, I could see where that would be a problem. It never really bothered me to take an off day. I always felt pretty good after an off day, but you know, Kerry Wood has been so motivated and dedicated to getting himself ready.
That'll score a run as DeRosa throws out Callaspo. Kerry has looked so good. He will pitch again tomorrow, and he'll go back-to-back days. Wednesday and Thursday will take an off day and then go an inning plus as he looks to lock in that closer spot. He's been throwing nothing but strikes.
And if he passes the back-to-back days test and the 1 inning plus test, you have to believe he's going to ease right into that closer's role. Certainly Carlos Marmol, Bob Howry will be available should Woody need a day off here or there, but fingers are crossed in anticipation of Kerry Wood the next couple of days.
A strike on Mark Tien. Good breaking ball from Jason Marquis. Fourth start, came in with an ERA of 2. One decision, it was a defeat. 12-9 last year in 33 starts, 34 appearances. Tien dumps it into left for a hit.
Let's go, big man. Come on.
Nice piece of hitting by Tien, just sticking the bat out there, poking that ball out into shallow left field. It's a tailing fastball. Very controlled swing. Doesn't try to overpower the ball. A lot of wrists and arms involved at the very end of that swing, and just flipped it out there into left field. Markey needs to get that ball down. It's never too early to start concentrating on your own strengths. And for Jason Markey, that's pounding that sinker down low in the zone, try to get some ground balls.
A big Ryan Sheely, he's in competition to win the starting first baseman job. Former Cub Ross Glode also in the mix. Bounced foul past third.
A little different feel to camp over in Surprise with the Royals. Whereas the Cubs have a pretty set lineup. Lou is pretty certain as to how this team is going to shake out and how it all fits together. And the Royals, it's a little bit of a tryout camp over there. A lot of guys getting a look at a lot of different positions.
Slowly hit on the ground. Terrio will gobble it up and gets it to Derek Lee in time as Tien goes to second base. 2 gone in the inning.
Got the desired result. The ground ball unfortunately wasn't hit hard enough for Terrio to even think about turning 2.
The Cubs with their off day on Monday. The Royals' only idle day will be tomorrow. Sunday's game was an hour 53 minutes.
And that was the day before the Cubs' only off day of the spring. A lot of very aggressive swinging, not only from the Cubs, but from the Angels in that ball game as well. The Royals have an off day tomorrow. We'll see how aggressive they are as they take their hacks in this game.
The 1-0 pitch coming, and Esteban Herman looks at it for a strike. Mark Grudzelanek bothered by some back issues. He's slated to be their starting second baseman. Mark also had knee surgery twice last year. We're being cautious with him. Check swing on a slider, and he held up.
That's a first. That's the first appeal I've seen not go the way of the pitcher this spring. Umpires find ways to move spring training games along, and usually those appeals down to the first or third base umpire don't work out well for the hitter.
The kick and the pitch. 2-2. If he gets on, Mitch Meyer would get an opportunity. He's playing right. But he won't get a chance as Marquis strikes out Herman. A triple and a run for the Royals. Cubs coming up.
Expert control. Authentic capability. The odds your route is decided by whichever way the wind blows. 8-1. The new Land Rover LR2 HSE. Created for the one. Extraordinarily equipped at Curtis 6150. Visit your local Land Rover center.
The Chicago Cubs strongly encourage the use of public transportation. The CTA offers a variety of options, including the Red Line, which stops right at Wrigley Field at the Edison Station. If you must drive, try the remote parking operation at DeVry University, located near the Edison and Rockwell intersection. The remote lot offers parking and an express bus for just $6. For more details, call the CTA hotline at 773-836-7000 or visit Cubs.com.
It's NCAA March Madness, when passion, performance, and style make the difference. When the best of the best put it all out on the floor for the biggest event of the season. The Buick Pontiac GMC March Madness sales event. Now, get 0% APR for 60 months on every 2008 Lucerne, G6, Sierra 1500, and Yukon. Make a fast break to your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer by March 31st.
The Royals got a run off Jason Marquis. Let's check out how the Cubs will line up. Again, this could be the opening day lineup. Terrio, Soriano, and Lee at the top. Ramirez, Pucadome, and DeRossi in the middle. Soto, PA, and Marquis at the bottom.
Take a look at the Royals defensively. Tien, DeJesus, and Mayer across the outfield. Callaspo at third base. Tony Pena Jr. at short. Esteban Herman at second base. Ryan Sheely over at first. Matt Tuckman will be doing the catching today for John Bale. Look at his numbers this spring, also making his 4th start. Put up some solid numbers. Opponents only batting .229 against the Royals left-hander.
He's trying to grab one of the final 2 open spots in their rotation. Came in as just kind of one of those guys in the mix, but he has pitched well and starts Ryan Theriot with strike 1. Foul back, and quickly Ryan is in an 0-2 hole. Gil Mesh, Brian Bannister, Zach Greinke, they're all in the rotation. So one of their big questions is who will be the 4th and 5th starters. We saw Brett Tomko get shelled by the Cubs recently. And I think they'd like him to win that 4th spot. Well, your thoughts on some of the changes in the lineup. Ryan Theriot as a leadoff hitter. We know he has the speed. He makes contact. The big key is going to be to get on base.
Get on base, make things happen, create a little disturbance for the defense for the guys in the middle of the order. Theriot takes a look at a breaking ball for a called strike 3. I've said it before, I don't think Lou is quite done tinkering with this lineup yet. It just seems to be something missing. The pieces aren't quite fitting together the way he likes. He still thinks it's going to be a very strong offensive ball club. A little disappointed in Derek Lee and Fukudome to a lesser extent, Aramis Ramirez. Some of the guys that he's really counting on to produce runs have not swung the bat as well as he would like to see this spring. But those guys all have a track record. He's very confident that they will swing the bats at a level that you expect from your big boys. But he would like to see it happen sooner rather than later. But getting back to the top of the order, you know, Theriot, given the fact that Felix Piet doesn't seem to be a leadoff caliber hitter at this point in his career, Ryan Theriot is the next best option given the guys he has on the field.
Soriano sends a rainbow out into left center. De Jesus will make the grab for the 2nd out. And here comes Derek Lee, who's hitting just 167, but he's not concerned. In years past, you would have been a lot more concerned about Derek because he had been notoriously a slow starter in the regular season. But last year he hit .392 in April.
And it wasn't because of the warm weather early in the season, that's for sure. Bitterly cold opening to the season last year, but Derek Lee carried the hot bat right from Arizona into the regular season.
In fact, he hit over 300 in 4 of the 6 months of 2007, and last year at 317. He hit for power, but a lot of that power came from 43 doubles, just 22 home runs for Derek. And he's thrown out by Cayaspo, and John Bale with a quiet first inning. Royals lead 1-0 after 1.
Hey, Nick, check this out. This business select thing is great. I get to be one of the first aboard, and I get extra rapid rewards credit and a free drink.
Shh, keep it down.
What? No, I want to shout this from the rooftops. I got business select.
Hey, I know it's great, man, but if everybody knows about it, then everyone's going to do it.
Southwest Airlines' new Business Select. You're guaranteed to be one of the first aboard. You get extra rapid rewards credit, a free drink, and it's fully refundable.
You're now free to be more productive. It's NCAA March Madness, when passion, performance, and style made the difference. When the best of the best put it all out on the floor for the biggest event of the season. The Buick Pontiac GMC March Madness sales event. Now, get 0% APR for 60 months on every 2008 Lucerne, G6, Sierra 1500, and Yukon. Make a fast break to your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer by March 31st.
Tonight, don't miss a Blackhawk Classic from 1971 as the Hawks take on the Toronto Maple Leafs in an original 6 showdown. This special rebroadcast features Blackhawk greats Bobby Hall, Stan Mikita, and Tony Esposito. Then tomorrow, see Blackhawk legend Tony Esposito honored live before the Hawks home game against the Capitals in a special ceremony on Comcast Sportsnet. It all starts tonight at 10:30 with the 1971 Classic and continues tomorrow at 7 with Game On, the home series, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Ticket sales are at a record pace, but plenty of tickets are still available for the 2008 season. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Mitch Meyer playing right. He'll start the second for Kansas City. Ramirez again playing in on the grass to start this inning. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. We'll keep an eye on the Yankees and Virginia Tech today. Playing a benefit game up at Virginia Tech. It'll be a 7-inning contest. Of course, last year the tragic shootings at Virginia Tech. The Yankees have donated $1 million to the Hokie Spirit Memorial Fund.
Oh, what a thrill for those college kids to get an opportunity to play against the New York Yankees. Even though I'm sure it'll be a somewhat disjointed Yankees lineup. Meyer goes down on strikes.
Been a quiet Yankee camp, hasn't it?
You have to love it when Hank Steinbrenner starts to get involved. He's following in Dad's footsteps, just making comments and inciting the baseball world, much like George used to do.
Matt Tupman, left-handed hitting catcher. The Dodgers have bid farewell to Vero Beach, Florida. A very emotional day for Tommy Lasorda, who spent 59 spring trainings in Vero Beach. And the Dodgers are now here in Arizona to finish up the preseason. Part of their team went to China to play the San Diego Padres in a 2-game exhibition series. And from here on out, they will train in Arizona.
Well, providing their new facility is ready in time for spring training next year. There is a clause in the contract that says if they have some problems getting the facility ready by next season, that the Dodgers could conceivably return to Dodgertown next year, but highly unlikely. I have to believe that the good people here in Arizona are going to do everything in their power to get that stadium ready for the Dodgers.
That's a 1-out walk to Tupman. They're also slated at some point to share that facility with the White Sox, and the latest report I saw that the White Sox, I believe, have a lease that runs through 2013 in their current park in Tucson, but they can get out of their lease if they can find a replacement. The latest news is that the White Sox are trying to work out some other deal, I guess some youth baseball that they would try to bring to Tucson in lieu of another spring training team, which would allow the White Sox to come up to the Valley. But what complicates it is I think the Rockies, if there aren't 3 teams in Tucson, they can leave, so it gets really complicated.
A lot of fine print in those contracts, but boy, you know, from spending some time in Tucson in spring training with the Diamondbacks, you really need to have at least 3 teams down there to make it work. It was a very convenient situation, at least we always felt it was. Ozzie and his staff with the White Sox were always very gracious about scheduling B games in the morning if you had a pitcher that needed a few innings of work, or a couple of position players coming back from injuries and you needed to play a morning game. Ozzie and his staff over on the other side of the street were always willing to put a team together and run them out there at 9 o'clock in the morning to play ball games. But well, you get down to 2 teams or maybe even only 1 team in Tucson, it really becomes a costly proposition to try to play a spring training schedule when you have to travel 90 miles for every ball game.
Jason trying to throw some strikes here. He walked the 7-hitter Tupman. He's now 3-0. Tony Pena Jr., who likes to take his hacks. Pena last year at 267 with a 284 on base percentage. He had the lowest on base percentage among all major league qualifiers, but he is able to draw the walk, so that's back-to-back free passes with the pitcher heading to the plate. Speaking of the White Sox in Tucson, our upcoming TV schedule here on Comcast Sportsnet. Sox hosting the Rockies tomorrow. They'll be in Scottsdale on Friday, and then we'll be back on Monday. The Rangers will be here. Cubs in Scottsdale on Tuesday. Sox and D-backs a week from Thursday. And you will be on assignment early next week, so Ron Santo will be filling in Monday. Dan Plesac on Tuesday. Ron's been asking a lot of questions about, okay, when do we do what? How do we handle this and that? It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Ron always does his homework in preparation of an assignment. The magnitude of the one he's about to face. I should extend a huge thank you to the Comcast family. Mentioned Dan Plesac, Ron Santo filling in.
Bunted by Bale, and it's foul.
And Jim Corno Jr. from Comcast for allowing me the freedom to go see my son Michael play some games here in the spring. Unfortunately, some of them coincide with the Cubs games, and big thank you to everybody involved for giving me that opportunity to watch my son play some games in the spring. I'm very grateful.
And Michael's heating up.
Starting to heat up, yeah. Had a good weekend last weekend over in Albuquerque against the University of New Mexico.
Two strikes on Bale. He won't be asked to do this much during the regular season.
17 at bats in his career.
And he bunts a foul. That's a strikeout. Well, if he's in their rotation all year, he might get one or two at bats in interleague play, and that's it.
And from the looks of it, I don't think Trey Hillman is going to bat John Bale in the 7 or 8 spot in the lineup in those National League games.
I doubt it.
9 is probably a good spot for him.
So DeJesus, who led off the game with a triple and then scored on the Callaspo groundout with 2 outs and 2 on. Hits a ground ball to Mark DeRosa. Snags it and throws to Lee, and that ends the inning. 2 walks, but they don't hurt the starter, Marquis. Cubs bat in the second, trailing 1-0.
What does it take to be the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year? Power, quality, and fuel economy. The Toyota Tundra, the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Now get 0% APR financing or $3,000 cash back. Find out more at ytundra.com. It's a great way to keep moving forward.
Tonight, Larry Hughes and the Bulls are back to work at the UC, ready to tip off against Vince Carter and the Nets in HD. Coverage starts at 7 with ex-Bulls Spring Game Live. Bulls Nets in HD, tonight at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Experience a Cubs game at historic Wrigley Field. Individual tickets are available for upcoming games. Get your tickets now by calling 1-800-THE-CUBS, visiting the Wrigley Field box office, or by logging on to Cubs.com. See you at beautiful Wrigley Field.
Save big money on Geldwin windows from Menards. All Geldwin windows are 14% off our everyday low prices. Choose from wood and vinyl. Many styles feature low-E insulated glass and are Energy Star rated to help you save big money. Ideal 5-star premium insulated garage doors are on sale. They feature an insulated core with steel inside and out and the Easy Set torsion spring system for a safe, quick installation. A 9x7 is $339. A 16x7 is $579.
Save big money at Menards.
Plan your next corporate function or family gathering in the comfort of the Wrigley Field Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments. Suites are available now for games during the season. Be sure to ask about the April and May incentives. To book your suite or for more info, visit Cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-CUBS. That's SUITES as opposed to
sweet,
the other kind. Ramirez, Fukudome, and DeRosa against John Bale. Ramos was bothered by a sore right shoulder early in spring training. And this will be just his 20th at bat. He has a little ground to make up. You generally want to get guys 60 at bats or so. One of the ways to make up for it is you get on his off day 7 or 8 at bats over in a minor league game.
And that's the way they operate. For example, if Aramis Ramirez were to play in a minor league game tomorrow just to get some at-bats, he would lead off every inning. That's the way you get around that and pile up those at-bats so guys can see a lot of live pitching, get their strike zone narrowed down a little bit. It's not an unusual practice in spring training to hold a guy out of the big league game, send him to the complex, let him get 8 or 10 at-bats in one day. Very much a controlled situation. Obviously, when you've got two minor league teams playing against each other at your own complex, you can pretty much determine how you want the game to go and who you want to get the at-bats and the innings pitched.
Well, it was a tough end to a terrific year last year. He hit .310 in the regular season, knocked in 101. And then Aramis went 0 for 12 with 5 strikeouts in the division series sweep versus Arizona. In fact, really the entire Cubs offense, Bob, went really cold in a short series. That can happen.
Well, it can happen. We talked about it even before the postseason. The amount of scouting that goes into preparation for a postseason series is just ridiculous. And if you have a weakness and that opposing team has pitchers on the mound that can attack that weakness, it's going to be tough to generate offense.
He's swinging a ground ball to third base. Callaspo throws out Ramirez by a couple of steps.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the pitcher still has to execute the pitches. The defense still has to make the plays behind him. But we know Aramis Ramirez can be a little bit of a free swinger, expands his strike zone, especially in those RBI situations. And I think the Diamondbacks pitchers knew that going in and really took advantage.
Now Kosuke, he has hit second, he has hit third, and now fifth. And you may see Kosuke at some point over the next few days get a little time in center field, because the Cubs right now don't feel comfortable with any quote backup center fielders on the roster. They do have guys who have played that position, but you know, he has played it before. He's most comfortable in right. He can play all 3 spots, but in an emergency you want to at least give him a little time out there in center field. A lot of Japanese media here covering Fukudome today, as that one is hit past Bale. Going to be a close play at first. No play. Sheely didn't even get a throw off.
That'll go as an infield hit. That's in effect a perfect swinging butt. He put that ball right in that Bermuda Triangle, away from the pitcher, away from the first baseman, in front of the second baseman. Bale wasn't sure whether to go for the ball or go to the bag. That confusion cost him a little bit of time, as Ryan Sheely eventually tried to make the barehanded scoop and throw all in one motion, but Fukudome beats it out.
So Kosuke, the first base runner and the first hit for the Cubs. The pitch to Mark DeRosa, taken a little bit high. The Royals also have right-hander Yasuhiko Yabuda, who might pitch today. So there are a lot of Japanese media in attendance. And the big story before the game had nothing to do with baseball. That in a second after this 1-0 pitch. I looked out, and just beyond the right field wall, right in the corner near the foul pole, there were a lot of players gathered around some sort of object with bats in hand. It was Cubs strength and conditioning coordinator Tim Buss's car, and it was being demolished.
Was is the right word. Yeah.
And now is. I'm assuming that the Cubs players will find a way to take care of Tim Buss and his transportation issues that now have come up. I assume Tim knows that his car is no longer in service.
They carried it out of here in a box. It was just pieces.
Fly ball to center. DeJesus is going back on it. Long run. He lays out. Can't get it. Fukudome will come around to score. And Mark DeRosa with a standing triple. So the Cubs have tied it 1-1. First triple of the spring for DeRosa. Looks like DeJesus is all right. He went full out to try to make the catch and just came up short.
Even though the wind is barely blowing here at the ballpark today, we've seen balls hit in that general vicinity carry extremely well, just to the right field side of that batter's eye. DeJesus had a beat on it the whole way, just couldn't catch up to it. That ball continued to carry. You see DeJesus comes apart when he hits the ground out there. Kosuke gets a pretty good read. He's going to go all the way to second base. When he sees the ball down, he knows he can advance on to third, and at that point he was sent on home by Mike Quaddy, the third base coach.
And now really a key spot for Giovanni Soto. You have a runner at third with one out. These are always key situations, especially for a young player, and his manager wants to see him find a way to get Mark DeRosa to the plate. Just to follow up on the Tim Buss story, if in fact the media find him and ask him what his reaction is, I hope he answers with, "Was it something I said?" I think that would be the perfect response to his car being trashed. Now there are rumors that they have in fact replaced his vehicle. A Nissan Xterra was located somewhere in the parking lot, a brand new one. So let's hope that Tim Buss is going to take that fine ride home with him tonight.
Well, there are a lot of benefits to the major league salary structure, but one of them is the cost of practical jokes is pretty much limitless. So Tim Buss, hopefully the beneficiary of a brand new ride at the expense of a pretty funny practical joke this morning.
And we definitely want to congratulate Bussy and his wife Lauren, who had gave birth to a son in the offseason, Jackson. So congratulations to the Buss family. New son, new car. Got him, called strike three, and John Bale trying to bail himself out of this inning with limited damage as he'll face Felix P.A. with 2 outs.
Now when Bale gets into trouble, he normally goes with off-speed stuff. This looks like a changeup. Yeah, maybe up in the zone a little bit. The catcher Tupman catches it up around belt high. Might have been higher than that one across the front of the plate, but we were talking about those are the situations that Lou and Gerald Perry would like to see Giovanni Soto be a little more aggressive, drive those runs in. He's hitting in a great spot in this Cubs batting order, at least today. Get a lot of opportunities in that 7th spot in the lineup, hitting behind Lee, Ramirez, Fukudome, and DeRosa. And there was a perfect example right there of an opportunity to cash one in.
Second game back for PA after the sensitive procedure last week. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes, and Marquis is on deck. John Bale, 33 years old, 6'4", 220 pounds. And he signed a free agent contract prior to last season after spending 3 years in Japan with Alfonso Soriano's former club, the Hiroshima Toyo Carp. Big leg kick, dropped down a little bit, and PA fouled it right at the plate.
Well, if indeed Felix P.A. finds himself in this 8th spot in the lineup this year, it's going to be a real education under fire. We've talked about it throughout our telecasts in the past. That is a tough spot in the lineup to hit. Normally you find a veteran player in that 8th spot. A lot of times it's the catcher for a team that hits in that 8th spot, but there are situations you want your 8-hitter to be extremely aggressive, try to drive in a run knowing that the pitcher's in the on-deck circle. There are other situations where you maybe are going to pinch hit for that pitcher spot. You want the 8-hitter to be a little more patient. It'll be a learning process for Felix if indeed he's in that 8th spot in the lineup. And depending on the pitcher for the Cubs on a given day, Jason Marquis, as we know, swings the bat extremely well. Carlos Zambrano's a good hitter. All has to enter into the equation before you step into that batter's box. Have a real good idea of what you need to do in that particular at bat.
Looks like Sam Fuld will start the year AAA and will be ready if needed. PA manning center for the Cubs. Again, barring any sort of trade or other change. And just based on the vibe around camp and what Jim Hendry has said, the Cubs are still looking. Always looking to improve their ball club. And if they do add on, it'll likely be to help the offense at this point. They have a surplus on the pitching staff, although no pitching coach will ever admit that. Backhanded play by Shealy, flip to Bale, and he just beats PA to first base. Mark DeRosa with an RBI triple, scoring Kosuke, and it's 1-1.
Reach out and press here, and here, and here. Feel how better placement of controls leads to better focus on the road. If not, that's because there's only one place to experience the intuitive design of the RX. Your Lexus dealer. Where you can lease the 2008 RX all-wheel drive for $459 a month for 36 months with $35.59 due at signing.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Game on. The home series has playoff implications, and only Comcast Sportsnet brings you all the action on the ice in crystal clear high definition. Tomorrow night, if you can't be at the United Center, then tune into Comcast Sportsnet for a special home game telecast as Dennis Savard and the Hawks take on Alexander Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals. It all starts tomorrow night at 7 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live, plus a special ceremony to honor Tony Esposito live from the United Center, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Want the best local sports highlights?
Got it, out in the foul. Scores! Picture perfect!
Need in-depth coverage of your team?
We want to continue to build, continue to bring it every night.
Pat Boyle and Mark Shanowski have you covered.
All of Chicago sports highlights, news, and interviews. Everything you need to know about Chicago sports.
Sports Night with Pat Boyle and Mark Shanowski. Every weeknight at 6:30 and 10. Only on Comcast Sportsnet. A Chicago sports fan's best friend.
Coming up tonight at 6:30 on Sports Night, presented by Dex. A live report from the United Center as the Bulls prepare for the Nets, and the Blackhawks have their backs against the wall as their season winds down. Join Pat and Mark for Sports Night, presented by Dex, tonight at 6:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Len and Bob and our Comcast Sportsnet crew from beautiful Mesa. A 1-1 tie as we get into the third inning. Galton is centered by Kayaspo. A little slip by Felix PA, but he was playing shallow and had no problem making the catch. And it brings up an excellent discussion point. Trey Hillman has really stressed to his Royals team, the outfielders, to play more shallow. And we were talking with one of the best outfield instructors in the game today, Rusty Kuntz, who's a first base coach for the Royals, about that idea. And I was actually talking with a Cubs pitcher about this the other day. And the idea, and we'll see what your thoughts are on it, Bob, is twofold. Number one, so many balls drop in front of outfielders, especially when you get to a place like Coors Field. A lot of people think that that's what hurts pitchers more than necessarily the home run. But if you give up a ball that's cranked, for instance, the Mark DeRosa triple, a pitcher's not going to be upset if an outfielder can't make that catch, because there's only a certain distance you can run before you hit the wall. But if you make your pitch, you do everything right, and a ball drops 2 steps in front of an outfielder, that's what really can lead to those huge innings. Do you agree with that philosophy in general, of trying to maybe bring your outfielders in a step or two?
I think in general, especially if your outfielders are adept at going back on the ball. There's some guys, as we know, that just don't feel comfortable going back toward the wall. They'd rather play deep and come in on everything. Unfortunately, as you said, there's going to be situations where the pitcher executes a good pitch, jams the guy, breaks his bat, and that blooper falls in.
Soriano going back, and it goes right off his glove. Exactly what we were talking about. He's had a lot of trouble going back on balls, and he just couldn't haul that one in, and Tien ends up at second base.
But once again, that pitch was up and out over the plate, not exactly what Jason Marquis was trying to execute. That ball was hit very hard to the opposite field. Well, that should be a double. You make a bad pitch up and out over the plate, and it gets hit over your outfielder's head. Well, that's going to happen. But should that ball be cued off the end of the bat and drop in front of Alfonso Soriano, then that's the one that you think, geez, we should have had that one there. If he'd have just been playing a couple steps shallower, we would have gotten to it and got the out. But when the ball's driven like that, That's more on the pitcher than the outfielder.
Yeah, it really plays right into what we were talking about. You want every ball to be caught. There's no question about that. But it's more forgivable to not make a catch banging up against the wall than to maybe be slightly out of position or get a bad jump on a ball that's in front of you. And everybody should be good at coming in, theoretically, right?
Well, you would think so.
PA is shielding his eyes from the sun, and he'll keep teeing at second base. I'd have to think, and I haven't taken a poll of pitchers out there, but that it can be more demoralizing, as weird as it sounds, to make your pitch and give up a hit as opposed to give up what Jason Marquis did. Just a bad pitch and a guy crushes it. Because you can live with that.
I think most pitchers expect bad pitches to get hit hard. Especially the veteran pitchers that have been around a little while. They know if they hang a sinker up over the plate or throw a breaking ball that stays in the hitting zone a little bit too long, they know those balls are likely to be hit hard. This is the big leagues.
That is hit very hard. PA, however, was playing shallow, made the catch. Boy, you love it when the action just matches up the discussion. It's still 1-1.
Thanks for your help, guys.
When it comes to planning for the future, trust Country Insurance and Financial Services to keep you moving in the right direction. With down-to-earth, straightforward advice, Country Insurance and Financial Services is always there to keep you on the right path. Country, real answers for real financial security. For your family, for you, for a lifetime.
This is our country.
Now is the time. Here is the place. And this is the truck. Chevy Silverado Halftone. The full-size pickup available with best-in-class 4x4 fuel economy. Well-qualified buyers. Get yours with 0% APR financing for 60 months. Shop Chevy now. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Tuesday on Chicago Tribune Live, the Cubs continue spring training play against the Royals. We'll have the latest from Arizona, plus we'll hear from Bob Knight. We'll get the Generals' predictions on the NCAA tournament, that and more, Tuesday at 5:30.
Royals and Cubs in a 1-1 deadlock. The triple has been the big hit in this ballgame for both teams.
Boy, a good day to have a seat on the bank. Beautiful sunshine today, clear skies, very comfortable temperatures in the mid-70s. Good day to throw a blanket down on the bank.
I was out here last Friday and I walked around the entire park, and it's quite a party out there in the berm. Kind of reminds you of Clark and Addison. And Waveland and Sheffield. Marquis reached out, popped it up right in front of the plate, and Tupman makes a catch. The third annual Race to Wrigley 5K on Sunday, April 13th, starts at Clark and Addison. Continues through the Wrigleyville neighborhood and finishes with a run down the Wrigley Field concourse and under the famous marquee. Each participant receives a performance race t-shirt. The Race to Wrigley is sponsored by Fields Auto Group, and proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To register, visit Cubs.com.
Thinking about pulling a Rosie Ruiz in that race to home plate. Just start at Clark and Addison, run down the right field line, come in the gate, run across home plate, and act like you finished the whole race.
I was going to say, give me a call, I'll give you a ride. Rosie Ruiz, good name from the past, as Terrio grounds to short, and we'll see if Soriano takes a pitch or two. John Bale has thrown, what, 3 pitches to get a couple of outs.
definitely not playing into his strength, making him go to the plate and take until he gets a strike. We all know Alfonso Soriano likes to hack at that first pitch close to the strike zone. We'll see what he does in this situation.
Do we remember what year Rosie Ruiz, quote, won the Boston Marathon, at least for a few minutes?
I don't remember when that was.
A 1-0 pitch to Soriano off the end of the bat in the air, and Myers surrounds it out in right, and that's it for the Cubs in the third inning. They go down 1-2-3. It's 1-1 to the fourth.
If you're thinking of a new SUV, think about Toyota. With 6 different SUV models, whatever your needs are, wherever you'll take it, Toyota has something for you. Like the all-road capable Toyota RAV4, which handles country roads, city roads, and pretty much any road you can find. Toyota, a great way to keep moving forward.
When I was a kid, I used to hit rocks over this creek in my backyard. I guess you could say I'm still hitting rocks. But now, it's out of other people's yards.
There are many roads to the show. What will yours be? MLB 08 The Show. Nothing gets you closer. Rated E for everyone. Only on PlayStation.
It's NCAA March Madness. When passion, performance, and style make the difference. When the best of the best put it all out on the floor for the biggest event of the season. The Buick Pontiac GMC March Madness sales event. Now, get 0% APR for 60 months on every 2008 Lucerne, G6, Sierra 1500, and Yukon. Make a fast break to your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer by March 31st.
Tomorrow, the Red Storm is back in town as Patrick Kane of the Blackhawks take on the Capitals in high definition. Coverage starts at 7 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live. Blackhawks Capitals tomorrow at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Top 4, 1-1. Jason Markey facing Mitch Meyer, who's playing right, and it's our pleasure to have with us in the booth Peter Chase, Cubs Director of Media Relations, in his second year with the Chicago Cubs, 9th season in Major League Baseball. We were talking about the Boston Marathon, Rosie Ruiz, and you knew the year.
1980.
1980. Were you at the Boston Marathon that year? Did you run it that year?
I did not run it. That was the one year I missed.
The one year you missed when you would have been like 6 years old. How are you, Peter?
I'm terrific. Thanks for having me.
Did you enjoy your off? Did you have an off day on Monday?
I had somewhat of an off day like everybody else. Tried to keep up with emails and such, but it was a good day. It's always a nice day to have one off, but then ready to get back going at it a day later. It's the one day of the spring. So
1-2 the count. In on the hands, a little lazy pop. Jason Markey going after it. Almost got there, but it just dropped out of his reach. Good effort there by the pitcher.
I think Jason Markey realized he was the only Cub that was going to have an opportunity to make a play on that ball. It wasn't hit very high in the air. Soto didn't pick it up immediately. Ramirez was playing deep and over toward the hole, and Markey figures, I'm the only guy that can catch that ball. Let's give it a shot.
Well, Peter, this has been a different spring. The first Japanese-born player in Chicago Cubs history, Kosuke Fukudome, a very popular player in Japan, and he has had a good amount of media following him every day. How is that going?
he has had a lot of media following him every day. I believe the first day of pitchers and catchers, we counted 22 photographers, both still and video, capturing his every move. But it seems to be something that he's really comfortable with. We have about 7 or 8 writers that spend time with him before the game and after the game. There's one camera crew that's been following him on a daily basis.
He may have a shot at this one here, although DeRosa and Lee get over there, and it's going to be caught by Derek Lee just in foul territory.
He's done a real nice job, though, of acclimating himself to the clubhouse. He and Carlos Zambrano have had some good pranks going back and forth with each other, starting with day one. But you can tell he's fitting in. He's picking up English, and I think he's going to be a great addition on and off the field for the Cubs.
How about with Lou and his staff, Peter? Obviously last year, the first year on deck for all those guys, and now that they've been here a year and everybody kind of knows them a little better, has that aspect of your job gone a little smoother?
Well, yeah, last year was the first year, as Len mentioned, for me and for Lou and for the entire staff, and I think that Lou has a much better idea of what to expect from the media this year. He's did a great job of building relationships with the writers and the broadcasters last year, and you can tell he's a lot more comfortable with the media on a daily basis. He admits that last year was a bit of a surprise to him, where a lot of his day-to-day decisions got scrutinized at varying degrees of scrutiny, but he's done a good job with it all, and I think he's built great relationships with the media, and they enjoy their daily interactions with him.
Well, Peter, along with Jason Carr, Caitlin Thrall, and Danny Holmes, we want to welcome Danny to the Chicago Cubs organization as well. Ryuji Araki, media relations assistant, and also the interpreter for Kosuke.
Yes, Ryuji has done a terrific job. We were looking for someone with a unique skill set that could not only interpret for the media, but also interpret for Kosuke's teammates and the coaching staff and Lou. And Ryuji was a trainer in the Cincinnati Reds system before joining us, and is comfortable around the players. He has the savvy to be in the outfield during batting practice, and the savvy to deal with the Chicago media and interpret on a daily basis for the Chicago writers and the English-speaking national writers who come in and visit with us at various times throughout the season.
And then there are a couple pages in the Cubs media guide written in Japanese as well.
Correct.
See the notes in Japanese.
Yes, Ryuji translates all of the information that goes to our English-speaking media is also presented to the Japanese media in the language that they're comfortable with. So that's a...
Can you spell check that, Peter?
That is not my lane.
That might have barely glanced off the glove of Jason Markey. Peter Chase, always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Len. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Check this out. With this controller, your character will mimic your exact motions. See?
Sweet.
Now throw me a pitch, just like we're outside.
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines Internet specials, you can fly to over 60 destinations nationwide for just $49 to $99.
You are now free to move about the country.
Build the bathroom of your dreams at Menards. Add beauty with Pace vanities. They come in a variety of styles and sizes and are easy to install. This 24-inch metalwood vanity is only $175. The 30-inch plantation model is just $234. Keep that new look going with a new vanity top from Crane. Their high shine is easy to keep clean. This onyx top has a raised faucet deck and fixed sides $89. This large bowl design and a granite finish only $109.
Save big money at Menards. It's NCAA March Madness, when passion, performance, and style make the difference. When the best of the best put it all out on the floor for the biggest event of the season. The Buick Pontiac GMC March Madness sales event. Now, get 0% APR for 60 months on every 2008 Lucerne, G6, Sierra 1500, and Yukon. Make a fast break to your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer by March 31st.
Hey fans, experience Cubs baseball from the private comfort of the batter's eye in center field. Offering a spectacular view and catered service for groups of 75 to 100, the batter's eye is a great option for entertaining in Chicago's unpredictable spring weather. The batter's eye is also available for non-game day functions. To book your data for more information, visit www.cubs.com/suites or call 773-404-CUBS.
Nicely done, partner.
Now, that'll be a good place to watch a ball game early in the season, I would assume, at Wrigley.
Low and outside on D. Lee. He is 0 for 1. It's a 1-1 tie. Last time these two clubs will meet in Cactus League play. Cubs won 13-1 in surprise on March 9th. We'll see if Michael Hoffpower continues his streak of playing in at least every day. Can't play in both split squad games, although he probably would if asked. He had played every day leading up to the off day yesterday. Cubs will have another split squad tomorrow. Day game here against Oakland, and a night game in Scottsdale versus the Giants. Inside corner strike, 2-2.
Night game in Scottsdale, Cubs and Giants during spring break. You think that one's going to be sold out?
Yes.
Yeah.
That moved Derek's hands, but it caught part of the strike zone, and he's out. And I believe the A's leave for Japan right after their game here. They'll open the regular season against Boston.
Yeah, because you were talking earlier about the Dodgers coming to Arizona to finish spring training, and I believe they're moving right into Oakland's facility over in Phoenix Municipal Stadium and will play the remainder of their spring training schedule while the A's travel abroad.
Dice K will start the opener for the Red Sox, as Josh Beckett had been bothered by some back problems. I guess he did something yesterday and felt good, but he will not be making that trip. Now, you never did anything like that, right? Not when you managed?
No.
Never played abroad, then came back?
No.
It'll be interesting to see how the teams adjust. Now, the Cubs did it years ago when they played the Mets, right? Over
in Japan,
in
Tokyo.
And then came back.
I think it's a huge disadvantage. Obviously, good promo for Major League Baseball, but a huge disadvantage to those teams with the jet lag that you deal with coming back on a trip like that. It takes a good week before guys actually feel like they're back to normal again.
Kosuke with an infield hit and a run in his first at bat in the second.
I tell you, most guys in the Cactus League feel going down Interstate 10 to Tucson is enough of a road trip for a spring training game.
Shealy got a candy hop at the end, and he'll take it unassisted. John Bale starting to cruise. He's sent down 8 in a row since the DeRosa RBI triple.
So let me get this straight. I have a comfortable house in the suburbs, comfortable job with a comfortable office. And what? I'm supposed to squeeze myself into an uncomfortable little car on my way back and forth to my comfortable life? I think not.
Visit your Chicagoland area Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Tonight, don't miss a Blackhawk Classic from 1971 as the Hawks take on the Toronto Maple Leafs in an original 6 showdown. This special rebroadcast features Blackhawk greats Bobby Hall, Stan Mikita, and Tony Esposito. Then tomorrow, see Blackhawk legend Tony Esposito honored live before the Hawks home game against the Capitals in a special ceremony on Comcast Sportsnet. It all starts tonight at 10:30 with the 1971 Classic and continues tomorrow at 7 with Game On, the home series, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Game On. The home series has playoff implications, and only Comcast Sportsnet brings you all the action on the ice in crystal clear high definition. Tomorrow night, if you can't be at the United Center, then tune into Comcast Sportsnet for a special home game telecast as Dennis Savard and the Hawks take on Alexander Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals. It all starts tomorrow night at 7 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live, plus a special ceremony to honor Tony Esposito live from the United Center, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. You're watching the home of the Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, and White Sox. Comcast Sportsnet.
Tonight, Blackhawk legends play on Comcast Sportsnet with a special rebroadcast of a 1971 Original 6 showdown with the Toronto Maple Leafs. This historic matchup features Blackhawk greats Bobby Hall, Stan Mikita, and Tony Esposito. It all starts tonight at 10:30 on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. We know the final score, but we won't give it away. I would have been a few months old, maybe. when that game originally was played. I'm excited to see that.
I love to watch those old videos. Occasionally you can get some classic baseball games on television from back in the days when I played, and even before that. I love to watch those old-time games. You mentioned it, I believe, a week or so ago about just the televising of the game, how the graphics have changed, how the camera work has changed, and you know, certainly the players have changed an awful lot over the years as well.
The 2-1 pitch. And John Bale is a strike.
Number one, nobody knew how to act when the game was televised. You didn't know where the cameras were. You didn't know there was extra time between innings. All these concessions we've made for television. Nowadays, it seems like everybody knows where the cameras are, when they should look, wave to mom, do your little thing.
I was joking with John Lieber after the hour 53-minute Sunday affair. He's put up a 147 in his career. I said, you know, we get you and Mark Burley going, it could probably do about an hour 35. But I said the one thing that would probably keep you from doing that, as Marquis strikes out Bale, is commercial breaks. And that goes into what you were saying.
Yeah.
You go back to before television, and yeah, you could play a major league game in a little over an hour, I'm sure. Not anymore.
Not anymore. I mean, back in the day. Back in the day when I played, you know, we used to look for the matchups of Rick Russell against Tom Browning. Two guys that do nothing but throw strikes, work fast, get the ball quick, take a couple of warm-up pitches between innings, and they're ready to go. And without the limitations of television, well, it wasn't unusual to play an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, no problem.
Cubs have had guys like Greg Maddux, Glendon Rush. I'm sure John Lieber will be like this, where there's certain days where they just want to keep going and they stand and stare at the second base umpire.
Tick tock, tick tock.
It's slicing and it'll go out of play. But everybody understands that we're paying the bills and we appreciate all the support of our sponsors. Might be it for Jason Marquis this inning.
Now, his outings have gone 2 innings, 3 innings, 4 innings, so you would have to assume that this will probably do it for him, depending on pitch count.
This next time through the rotation will be the longest outing for the starters, and then the final time through, Cubs will pull back a little bit, shorten them up, and get them ready for the regular season. DeRosa ranges a little bit to his left, dropped it, and he won't have time to throw out to Jesus. That'll be an error on Mark.
Yeah, sometimes as an infielder you need to multitask, not only move to your left but maybe back up a step or come in a step to get that good hop. That time DeRosa shuffles to his left and just misplayed the ball, hit off the little finger of the glove, trickled out behind, not in a position where he could recover and still get the out.
So now Marquis will try to draw up a double play ball. And you know what Mark DeRosa wants? He wants another ground ball hit at him. Instead, that soft liner drops in front of Fukudome, who was trying to force out De Jesus at second. The throw was a little late and offline.
I like the thought process, though. The runner at first had to hold up to make sure the ball got down on the ground, so Fukudome got himself into a position that as soon as he picked up the ball, he was ready to fire it back into second base, trying to get that lead runner. Even though that play didn't result in an out at second base, I like the fact that guys are thinking ahead. They know the situation. They know where the base runners are. And from being a base runner, he knew that the runner at first base was going to have to hold up and make sure that ball got down on the ground. So he got himself into a position to play it on a big hop, get it on his throwing side quickly, and unload that throw back into the infield and try to snake an out at second base.
Tien perfect so far, a single and a double on his line. The other note about the starting pitchers, the plan, Bob, in April is to not skip that fifth starter. The Cubs will have some early off days, but the idea is to use everybody as opposed to not use the fifth guy until you absolutely need him. I think part of the reason is whoever grabs those final spots. The Cubs kind of want to determine who the number 3 guy is going to be.
I mean, we've talked a lot about the lineup and who's going to hit where and how does it fit together for Lou, but I'm not so sure that that rotation is carved in stone at this point, outside of Zambrano and Lilly at the top, and also the fact you'd like to separate Lilly and Hill. Oh, nice play, D.
And Marquis covering first. They turn it 3-6-1. What a beautiful double play. More on that and the rotation when we come back. As the Cubs preserve the 1-1 tie, the error does not hurt Jason Marquis. Nice defense.
Expert control. Authentic capability. The odds you're out is decided by whichever way the wind blows. 8-1. The new Land Rover LR2 HSE. Created for the one. Extraordinarily equipped at 36150. Visit your local Land Rover Center.
Register for Bracket Challenge 2008 on ComcastSportsNet.com, and you'll be entered into a random drawing to win a 2-night trip to Las Vegas, including round-trip vouchers on Southwest Airlines. The Bracket Challenge 2008, brought to you by Farmers Insurance in Pontiac, only on ComcastSportsNet.com.
Bank of America offers the opportunity to see Wrigley Field like you never have before. Take a 90-minute guided tour and check out the press box, locker room, dugouts, and much more. Tours are available on select dates and can be purchased by calling 1-800-THE-CUBS or by visiting Cubs.com.
Now is the time. Here is the place. And this is the word. Every Chevy car, pickup, and SUV is backed by the 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And now get $1,000 purchase bonus cash on select Chevy vehicles. Well-qualified buyers can combine it to get 2.9% APR financing for 60 months plus $1,000 purchase bonus cash on an 08 Chevy Equinox. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Mark DeRosa will lead off the bottom of the 5th. That double play was slightly reminiscent of the twin killing to end that game in Houston last year. Remember that one? A nail biter. Ryan Dempster was hanging on barely. And I recall it was a 3-6-1.
I think you're absolutely right. When a hard hit ball like that, a veteran like Derek Lee knows he's got enough time to make that solid throw to second base. At that point, it's just a question of whether your shortstop can handle that relay back to the pitcher covering first in a timely fashion. But ball hit extremely hard. Derek Lee played it on a nice hop. Terrio even had enough time to re-grip out there at second base before firing on to Marquis covering the bag.
DeRosa pops it up. Tupman finally discards his mask. The thing about that double play is that it requires 3 guys to make excellent plays. Derek Lee on the pick, and you mentioned Terrio, and then Marquis has to get all the way to first base to receive that throw. That's teamwork.
That's teamwork, and that's a play that every major league club works on a lot in spring training. That play where the pitcher has to go over and become the first baseman, and we know Jason Marquis is a good athlete, gets off the mound. Doesn't even have to look for the bag. He's done that often enough that he knows exactly how many steps it takes him to get over to that base.
Giovanni Soto flies out to Tien. Well, John Bale has put it on cruise control since giving up the back-to-back hits in the second. He's gone through the order and hasn't allowed a base runner since.
Well, he's done a nice job of doing to the Cubs what a lot of finesse left-handers have done in the last couple of years. He just keeps the ball out of the middle of the plate, doesn't really give you anything that you can hit extremely hard, but yet everything looks tantalizing. Everything looks like it's going to be a good pitch to hit until it gets into the hitting zone.
Bunted by PA. That's a great play, even though he's thrown out. Cubs hadn't been doing anything off John Bale, so PA tried to sneak one in there. Nice play by the catcher to get it 1-1.
Touch here. Can't feel the immediate response as you paddle shift your way through the 6 speeds?
That's because there's only one place to experience the race-inspired IS. Your Lexus dealer. Where you can lease the 2008 IS 250 all-wheel drive for $369 a month for 24 months with $34.69 due at signing.
Hey, baseball fans, how would you like to have the coolest house on the block? Come to Sweet Play for the largest selection of Brunswick pool tables, game tables, bars and bar stools, home theater seating, arcade games, air hockey, and outdoor living patio furniture to entertain friends and family. Bring home the fun at 4 convenient locations in Algonquin, Downers Grove, Deerfield, and Naperville. Visit sweetplay.com for store hours and directions.
It's NCAA March Madness, when passion, performance, and style make the difference. When the best of the best put it all out on the floor for the biggest event of the season. The Buick Pontiac GMC March Madness sales event. Now, get 0% APR for 60 months on every 2008 Lucerne, G6, Sierra 1500, and Yukon. Make a fast break to your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer by March 31st.
Register for Bracket Challenge 2008 on ComcastSportsNet.com, and you'll be entered into a random drawing to win a 2-night trip to Las Vegas, including round-trip vouchers on Southwest Airlines. The Bracket Challenge 2008, brought to you by Farmers Insurance in Pontiac, only on ComcastSportsNet.com.
Well, the starting pitchers have done a nice job this spring. We saw Carlos Zambrano took a no-hitter on Sunday into the 6th, and Jason Marquis has looked sharp today.
He's really looked sharp. Gave up the leadoff triple to DeJesus. He ultimately came around to score, and with the exception of the 7 and 8 hitters in the second inning, when he walked back-to-back batters, he's been in the strike zone with good movement, down low, getting the ground balls that he needs.
So Jason will try to get through this inning. Scott Air loosening in the bullpen. And the 1-0 pitch on the way to Ryan Shealy. 2-0 the count. Cubs start the season. They'll be 15 wins away from 10,000 as a franchise. Hard liner, and it finds Green out in the outfield. And when the Cubs get to 10,000, as Lou heads out to the mound, they will join one other team with that many wins. The Giants, only team with at least 10,000 victories.
Was there for the 10,000th victory. Ernest Riles hit a home run to win that ball game. Of all the great names in Giants history, Ernest Riles gave him their 10,000th win.
That's it for Marquis. Left-hander Scott Air will take the mound when we come back in a 1-1 tie.
Hi everybody, Harry Carey here to introduce the newest choice for your television. Advanced TV from AT&T. Makes everything else look like it's in the Stone Age. If you were a caveman, would you have a pet saber-toothed tiger? I know I would. I'd name him Mittens.
Now with DVR included and $50 cash back.
It looks so great, I found myself watching figure skating. The combination of sequins and feathers is mesmerizing.
You'll be amazed where a pen can take you during the Lincoln Signature Event. Now, drive select 08 Lincoln vehicles with zero cash due at signing, including the Lincoln MKZ with exclusive sync technology standard. Get zero first month payments, zero down, and zero cash due at signing on Lincoln MKZ for $369 a month. From the fastest growing full line of luxury vehicles, Lincoln.
When it comes to planning for the future, trust Country Insurance and Financial Services to keep you moving in the right direction. With down-to-earth, straightforward advice, Country Insurance and Financial Services is always there to keep you on the right path. Country, real answers for real financial security. For your family, for you, for a lifetime.
This is our country.
High fives for the starter, Jason Marquis, who in 5 innings plus gave up the single to Sheely, and that ended his performance as he heads over to chat with Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach.
Get some immediate feedback. Probably a pitch or two over the course of the outing today that there was some question about, and make sure they're on the same page before he goes back out to take a ball for his next start.
Cubs may only have one left-hander in the bullpen. We know Scott Air will be a part of that pen. Neil Kotz, Les Walrond, Carmen Pignatello among the left-handers battling for a spot, but the Cubs also have some other tough decisions. Rule 5 pick Tim Leahy. What do you do with him? You have Sean Marshall, Marquis and Lieber and Dempster, all these guys battling for a spot in the rotation. I guess in the end, good problems to have. It looks like Kevin Hart's going to make the club. Jose Escanio, we may see him today. Can never have enough pitching.
No.
Never,
absolutely.
ever.
Stockpile it and hide them away down in AAA or AA in the event you need them, because there's a pretty good chance at some point this season you're going to have to reach down into your system, and you hope you can grab somebody and bring them up here and contribute and help the team win some games at the big league level.
Runner was going. Have to believe somebody missed a sign. Although Sheely was safe, but as he was on the move, he was staring at home plate, and Esteban Herman took that pitch. Ryan Sheely, I'm guessing, is not going to steal a ton of bases.
Well, he gets a pretty good jump, just goes on first movement, but you can clearly see him looking back to home plate in anticipation of some kind of a swing from Herman, and Herman took the pitch. Soto had a good throwing lane to second base, just got it down there too late to get the runner.
Brings up a 3-1, and Herman draws a walk. Ryan Sheely began his minor league career in 2002. He has 5 career stolen bases. He has 2 in the major leagues. So he is not going to be running very often.
You know, talking to Matt Sinatra, the Cubs first base coach as well as catching instructor, about Giovanni Soto behind the plate, as he pleased with his progress this spring, and he said they detected a mechanical flaw in his throwing motion where he was basically just kind of standing straight up and had no momentum going towards his target at second base. Ball bunted foul down a third baseline. They've been working on the backfield very hard for Giovanni Soto to get his footwork such that when he's ready to throw, his momentum is carrying him towards second base rather than being stationary and standing straight up.
Matty, the Cubs first base coach. And he's been with Lou Piniella for a long time. Formerly a bullpen coach with Lou. A couple of different stops. 1 strike on Meyer, who was born in Petoskey, Michigan. Do you know where Petoskey is?
No, I do not.
Well, if you ever go over the Mackinac Bridge, it's not too far from there, kind of near the top of the mitten.
Okay.
Still in the lower peninsula, but it's pretty far north. Beautiful area. First round pick in 2003.
You think there's snow on the ground there today?
Yes.
Okay.
I would almost guarantee it. I'm sure you'd find some good fishing holes up in Petoskey in that area.
I have no problem finding fishing holes. I have problem catching fish. 2 completely different things.
One, 2 is pulled outside on a slider. Good play by Soto. Happy 2nd birthday to Joey Titterick of Joliet. That's from your grandpa Tony. Big Cub fan Mike Prasnowski passed his Constitution test. Mike, keep up the good work. Back of short goes Terrio. He calls off Soriano. And that's out number 1. Now going back to Ryan Sheely stealing second base. I've had this conversation before about things that happen that work out but aren't supposed to. And vice versa. Sometimes you make the right move and it doesn't work out, but I'm guessing Trey Hillman was not very happy about the stolen base because somebody missed a sign.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know what I mean? This is spring training, and it's more about doing it right than necessarily the result.
Yeah, nice going. Don't do it again. Kind of like Ted Lilly's squeeze bunt with the bases loaded. Was that in Cincinnati last year?
Right.
He popped the ball up in the middle of the infield. It fell safely, and he got on base and drove in a run. It's not exactly how you would draw it up, and probably not what Lou had in mind, but it worked.
So if you're Trey Hillman, and who knows who missed what, do you very quietly, between innings, after the game, do you write a little note to yourself to go up to that player later? How do you handle that, especially with a younger team?
Yeah, you definitely have to make notes during the course of a game because so many things happen that you want to address the next day before you go out on the field to play another ball game. You want to make sure you get things right. So I'm sure if the mistake was on the part of the hitter, Herman, that he'll get together with his coaching staff. They'll go through the signs with him once again, tell him what to look for and be ready and anticipate if you've got a runner at first. Maybe we'll play hit and run. Here's what the hit and run sign looks like. Make sure you keep an eye on it.
And the other thing that you and I both know is that whoever made the mistake knows it.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Shealy's probably standing at second base going, what just happened? And Herman's going, wait a minute.
Where's he going?
Where's he going?
I tell you, that's a problem as old as the game itself. You want your signs to be complicated enough so the other team can't steal them, but yet simple enough so that your own players will get them 100% of the time. And to the best of my knowledge, that's never happened in this game.
And the teams will change their signs at the end of spring training with players coming and going. You don't want to give away any secrets to other ball clubs.
No, not at all. And you know, there is a lot of player movement right at the end of spring training, and we've seen it in the past trades even during the course of the season where a player will go to a team in his own division and you've got to change all the signs. Although I will admit one time we traded a player and he never knew our signs, so we didn't bother to change him because I knew he didn't know them when we traded him. Normally you would change them completely, or at least change your indicator so that you know, the guy sitting over in the other dugout now couldn't steal your signs and tell his new team what was going on. But I never worried about it with this guy.
Does each organization kind of have a designated guy who devises what the indicator will be?
Yeah, I mean, and usually
come up with it together.
Usually it's the third base coach. That's his job to give the signs to the players on the field from the manager on the bench. So I think this is the way most teams do it. You give that guy the leeway to use whatever signs he's comfortable giving that he feels his players can get easily and the other team can't steal. And it's always something very simple. He touches 20 different things right there. There may be one hot spot, and if he never touches that hot spot, the hitter knows there's absolutely nothing on here. But if the coach happens to hit that hot spot, now you have to keep a close eye on it to see what follows that indicator sign, and that's the sign that the manager will want to happen on the field.
Luis Silverio is the third base coach for the Royals. I got a good note on Silverio here after the 3-2. Lined and no double play. Tupman hit it hard, but right at Ramos. And he looked at both runners who were pretty close to their respective bases. So a hard hit ball, but 2 outs. And they bring up Tony Pena. Luis Silverio had a cup of coffee as a player with the Royals. He was an outfielder in 1978. Just 8 games, but his career batting average was .545. He went 6 for 11 with 2 doubles, a triple, a stolen base, 3 RBIs, 7 runs.
Wow.
That's a great major league career, as short as it was for Luis Silverio. You can say, what, you can go up to every major leaguer in history and say, what did you hit?
What did you hit?
I hit .545.
And you could even tell people, you know, I thought it was going to be more of a challenge, but you know, geez, it was just too easy. So I went into another line of work. Scott Air 1 out away from dancing out of trouble here. Gave up the leadoff single, then the broken hit and run, we assume, resulted in a stolen base. He walked Herman, but has come back to get the next 2 outs. 1 out away from escaping trouble.
Big leg kick. Breaking ball strike. Nothing in 2 on Pena. Now the pitcher Bale is on deck. Don't see anybody loosening in the Royals bullpen. And if Trey Hillman wants John Bale to go 6 innings, he's going to bat no matter what. Even if you normally would go with a pinch hitter.
Well, and during the regular season, in a similar situation, if Lou would happen to look down to the Kansas City bullpen and notice they don't have anybody throwing down there and the pitcher is on deck, you may choose to pitch around Pena right here. If not, walk him intentionally to force that pitcher to come up and take the at bat.
Knocked down by Soto, 1-2. Pretty quiet out in the bullpen. See a few guys stretching out there. Marquis went 5+, replaced after giving up a leadoff single in this inning to Ryan Sheely. Cubs came in with a .484 earned run average. Just off the outside edge. We haven't seen a ton of big scores. You know, a lot of 9-8, 11-10 finishes. More 6-4s, 3-2s, 5-3s. It was 4-1 the other day. It's 1-1. And it'll remain that way as Scott Air gets out of it. A hit, a walk, 2 left. Bottom 6. We're still tied.
People think life in California is one big vacation. It's really a lot of work.
We have board meetings. Lots of board meetings.
We're always playing catch up. We're really just a bunch of pencil pushers.
We burn the midnight oil.
Hey, it's a dirty job.
Someone's got to do it.
So if California seems like your kind of work,
when can you start?
Find yourself in California. Fly Southwest Airlines Internet specials from Chicago Midway to select cities in California for just $99.
You are now free to move about the country.
Tuesday on Chicago Tribune Live, the Cubs continue spring training play against the Royals. We'll have the latest from Arizona, plus we'll hear from Bob Knight. We'll get the Generals' predictions on the NCAA tournament, that and more, Tuesday at 5:30.
Show us you embody Chicago sports, and you could win an all-expense-paid 3-night trip to Rio Vallarta and Riviera Nayarit, Mexico. Presenting the fans' best friend getaway. Brought to you by Apple Vacations, America's favorite vacation company. All you have to do is send a picture to Apple Vacations at ComcastSportsNet.com, depicting why you are Comcast Sportsnet's best friend. It's that easy. Send a picture and you could win. Don't miss out. Enter the fans' best friend getaway. Only from Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Last week, if you just got the scores, you didn't get the whole picture.
I just had to do a better job of dealing with my frustrations instead of acting the way I did. Now I just want to get this over with and let this team focus on making the playoffs.
Jerry, Carlos, and I are on the same page. If we play well, we'll find somewhere for us. We're all too talented just to sit.
How can you be anything but unbelievably proud of this team? A group of incredible fighters, overachievers. That's the story of this team.
Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Every game in HD, coming soon to Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Want to see a Cubs game from the front row at Wrigley Field? Now you can. Visit Cubs.com and click on the CBOE front row seats auction to bid on tickets in the front row behind home plate and along the first base line for the March 31st through April 6th games. Don't miss your chance. Go to Cubs.com and check out the CBOE front row seats auction today. Ronnie Cedeno's batting for Scott Air. Ronnie had been bothered by a tight hamstring. And Lou mentioned a couple days ago that Ronnie's going to basically be an infielder from here on out. He had played a little bit in the outfield. In a pinch, he could play center. But the Cubs view him mainly as an infielder. That's why he wants to get Kosuke some reps out at center, just as a backup plan in case he's needed during the season. Cedeno with a leadoff single, with Terrio coming up. 11 in a row had been sent down by Bale before that hit.
A nice approach there with 2 strikes by Ronnie Cedeno. Really stays on this pitch. It's up and out over the plate, shoots it through that hole in the right side of the field. That's nice to see for Ronnie. Sometimes he had a tendency in the past not to cut down his swing with 2 strikes, still take the big pull swing, and was very susceptible to off speed and breaking pitches. That time stayed on it and drove it to the opposite field.
We'll see if the Cubs can make some things happen. With good speed at first. Guy can handle the bat well at the plate. Cubs were in the middle of the pack last year in the National League, finished 8th in runs. Bunted, it's pushed toward first base. Going to be a tough play. Everybody saved. Bale had to go get it, and Terrio easily got to first base as Bale wasn't even able to make a throw. 2 on with no outs.
It's twice in this ball game that Bale and his first baseman Shealy have had some miscommunication on who's going to play the ball and who's going to go to the base. I would imagine that Trey Hillman will have his pitchers, first baseman, second baseman, and catchers out early tomorrow morning working on that very play right there. Nice job by Ryan Terrio. I'll tell you, a good punter like Ryan Terrio, they know when they put that ball into a tough position for the defense. I'm sure Ryan Terrio could feel that one. If he got it far enough past the pitcher, he was going to beat it out for a base hit. He was really busting down that line.
Now, based on the numbers and the reputation, as a pitch to Soriano swung out and missed. Alfonso hits a lot of fly balls, and he can swing and miss. So you probably stay out of the double play here. But you know what John Bale's thinking? He wants to strike him out. He's not looking to induce contact, because if he does, it may leave the yard.
And every time Bale has gotten in trouble today, he's gone to the off-speed stuff. Almost a screwball-like changeup fading away from the right-handed hitters. The big, round breaking ball.
Well, he's been around. Been with Toronto, the Orioles, the Reds, and now the Royals. Busted him inside. Fans get a little nervous, and I'm sure the Cubs do too when they see one of their superstars get pushed off the plate, but that's textbook with 2 strikes.
Oh, it really is, especially when the first 2 pitches were off-speed pitches away. You want to make sure that hitter doesn't lean out over the plate. That'd be interesting to see where this next pitch is. Some organizations are big on doubling up. If you come inside once, come right back inside again, especially when you're ahead in the count the way Bale is right now. Other teams, after that setup pitch, go back down low and away. Off-speed pitch up and away. Gets a swing and strike.
Alfonso may have asked Gary Darling if that was going to be a called strike. Let's see. If so, it would have been a high strike.
Well, we've seen Gary Darling call some high strikes in this ball game today. Kind of a hesitation there in the middle of the swing. Soriano recognized the off-speed breaking ball, but just couldn't wait back long enough. Most umpires, when you ask, was that pitch going to be a strike, they're going to say yes, because they want the batters to swing the bats. The more aggressive the hitters are, the more it takes off the home plate umpire's shoulders as far as calling balls and strikes. So every umpire I worked in front of, when the batter would say, was that a good pitch? Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, what benefit is there to telling a hitter, no? Nah.
One of the best umpires I worked in front of during the course of my career were guys who tended to call a big strike zone the first time through the batting order and then narrowed it down a little bit as the game progressed. And by a big strike zone, I mean if it got there in the air, it was probably going to be a called strike. The idea was to get the offenses swinging the bats, get the pitchers to throw the ball close to the plate, and then as the game progressed, they would narrow it down to a more traditional strike zone. But by then, you've got both offenses swinging the bats.
The pitch. Ground ball to third. Bobbled and out at second. Terrio is forced as Callaspo bobbled it. That was tailor-made for a double play. They do get one, and they're left at the corners with 2 outs.
I was surprised they're still able to get Terrio at second base. Callaspo looked up just a little bit early. That ball trickled out of the webbing of the glove, but clearly gets the throw on to second base just in time to get Terrio.
Now Ramirez. This inning got off to such a promising start. Be interesting to see if Bale works around Ramirez with the left-handed hitting Fukudome on deck. And this will almost certainly be the final inning for Bale.
I think Bale in this particular situation wouldn't mind Aramis Ramirez getting himself out. He's not going to throw anything too good to hit over the heart of the plate because there is a left-handed hitter in the on-deck circle. But we know Aramis at times will expand that strike zone and swing at bad pitches.
Well, with a breaking ball on 2-0, and he caught the outside corner.
That should be a pretty good indication that Bale doesn't care if he walks Ramirez. When you throw a 2-0 breaking ball, at this point in a spring training game, that's sending a signal to the hitter, hey, listen, if you're going to get a hit, you're going to have to hit a borderline pitch because I'm not going to throw you anything down the middle of the plate.
A fly to right, and that's deep, and it goes for Ramirez. It didn't look like he got all of it, but he did. A slight breeze blowing out that way, and Bale gives up the 3-run homer. He could not pitch around Ramirez. That's his first of the spring, and it's 4-1.
Great adjustment in mid-at-bat. I think Ramirez realized what Bale was trying to do to him. He got a change-up down low and away and just golfed it to right field. Looked like a routine fly ball off the bat, but just kept carrying out there on the tense above the bullpen. Well, that's veteran hitting. See, you have to be able to step out of the box, look at the situation that's in front of you, and have an idea what that pitcher might try to do to you in the course of that at bat. I think Aramis Ramirez realized I'm not going to get a candy pitch down the middle of the plate. I can jerk to left field. He's probably going to try to get me out of the way. So he leaned out there and drove that ball to the opposite field for a 3-run bomb.
Well, showing great opposite field power. I thought that ball was going to drop down because Meyer was shaded toward the gap, but it got over the fence, hit the awning out there, right over to the bullpen. A 3-run homer by Ramirez, and the Cubs lead by 3. These are important at bats for Kosuke against a left-hander. And these are important innings for a guy like John Bale. Trying to jump into that opening day Kansas City rotation. And that's ball 4. First walk he has issued. Trey Hillman now heading out, and that'll probably be it for the left-hander. He has made the call to the bullpen. Yasuhiko Yabuda is up, but I don't think he's coming in. They had another pitcher warming up. So a pitching change from Mesa, where the Cubs lead the Royals 4-1. Chin-Wei Sao will be the next pitcher for Kansas City.
Cup holders, researchers say, is one of the top reasons women buy one car over another. Not horsepower, not available features like an 8-inch nap screen or black leather trim. Nope, cup holders. Maybe those researchers need a little quality time with a different kind of woman.
Visit your Chicagoland area Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Save big money on Geldwin windows from Menards. All Geldwin windows are 14% off our everyday low prices. Choose from wood and vinyl. Many styles feature low E insulated glass and are Energy Star rated to help you save big money. Ideal 5-star premium insulated garage doors are on sale. They feature an insulated core with steel inside and out and the Easy Set torsion spring system for a safe, quick installation. A 9x7 is $339. A 16x7 is $579.
Save big money at Menards.
What does it take to be the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year? Power, quality, and fuel economy. The Toyota Tundra, the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Now get 0% APR financing or $3,000 cash back. Find out more at ytundra.com. It's a great way to keep moving forward.
Now the Cubs' upcoming television schedule will be back right here on Comcast Sportsnet for games next Monday and Tuesday. And then wrapping up the exhibition season here against Milwaukee on the 27th, and then in Las Vegas versus Seattle the 28th and 29th. Off day on the 30th, a workout day at Wrigley Field, and then the opener against the Brewers on the 31st. Chin-Wei Sao, a right-hander. I'll try to extricate the Royals from this inning, to borrow a word used by Lou Piniella.
Must have been a good crossword that morning, huh?
He used some good ones last year. Sao is from Taiwan. He was signed originally by the Rockies back in 1999. He's been a Rocky, a Dodger, and he's trying to make the Royals roster. Signed as a minor league free agent in January. He faces DeRosa with Fukudome at first base. Aramis Ramirez with a go-ahead 3-run homer.
See Sal's numbers for the spring. Did a real nice job last year. Held lefties to under a 200 batting average. We were talking about the makeup of bullpens, righties and lefties, and such a luxury when you have a right-handed pitcher that can get lefties out.
Fukudome will steal the base. In fact, the throw hit him. Oh, man. I wonder if that ball hit him in the face.
That looked like it.
I think it hit the dirt first and may have come up and hit him up in the facial area. And he's right back up on his knees. That's very good news. And he says he's all right. I got him in the neck.
That's why some base stealers will slide facing the outfield rather than facing the infield with their upper body. That time Fukudome was exposed to that one-hop throw. Well, you could immediately see Esteban Herman, the second baseman. He saw where that ball hit Fukudome, kind of grabbed his own head. Good to see he's all right.
Cubs assistant athletic trainer Ed Halber, along with Ryuji Araki, came out to check on Fukudome. That's his first stolen base, and he is now out of the game. Gets a nice hand from the crowd. And Eric Patterson will pinch run.
That was another thing Lou was bemoaning this morning. He said the base stealers on this team, the guys that they consider to be base stealers, as well as some of the guys who have average or better than average speed, have had the green light all spring. He's been waiting for guys to pick their spots and try to steal some bases. And going into play today, the Cubs had only attempted 17. They've been successful in 8 of those stolen base attempts. I'll tell you, I like the stolen base as much as anybody, but the way the Cubs are aligned this year, there's no question this is a powerful offense that's going to score runs in bunches. They're going to rely on the long ball to score runs once again. I mean, outside of Ryan Theriot and Soriano, should his legs get back to 100% health, there really aren't base stealers in this line.
DeRosa draws the walk, and if you're going to be 50% or below, that is not a good play.
No.
You need to be up in the 75 to 80% range to make it really work for you.
And as much as a base runner's speed determining whether or not he tries to steal a base, it's also dependent on the defense. How quick does a pitcher unload the ball to home plate? How quick does the catcher get rid of the ball? What kind of throwing arm does he have? And you put it all in the equation, and if it says we should be able to steal a base, then I'm sure Lou will try to be more aggressive with the guys he feels can steal a base. Teams nowadays spend so much time in spring training and even during the regular season quickening the pitcher's times to home plate, working on the catcher's footwork and his throwing motion to get the ball down to second base quickly. I tell you, the stolen base is a tough proposition unless you're one of the premier base stealers.
Oh! Wow. We've got some cracked glass right above us in front of our broadcast booth. I thought I was going to have a shot at that one.
It's on your side of the booth.
Yes, it is. Either there's a spider web up there or a broken pane.
Right there.
I thought I had it. Fisted foul. 1 and 2.
Feels like I'm walking on broken glass. Heads up. I don't know. When we were kids, we used to call no chips on windows. You know, when you played in Miss McGillicuddy's A Vacant Lot, if you happen to break a window, you got to pay for the whole thing yourself. No chips on windows.
Another one back our way, and this one over the grandstand area.
Yeah, I think that's why I like Lou so much, Len. You know, you look at this ball club on paper, and a lot of people are picking the Cubs to win the division and advance to the postseason once again, and why not? You know, it's a good-looking ball club, a lot of offense, deep pitching staff, solid bullpen. But yet Lou is never content with what he has.
Always tweaking. Ramirez with a big blast, a 2-out, 3-run homer to give the Cubs a 4-1 advantage.
It's NCAA March Madness, when passion, performance, and style make the difference. When the best of the best put it all out on the floor for the biggest event of the season, the Buick Pontiac GMC March Madness sales event. Now, get 0% APR for 60 months on every 2008 Lucerne, G6, Sierra 1500, and Yukon. Make a fast break to your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer by March 31st.
You can't ignore it forever. It's your future. It's real life. Whatever your goals may be, it's important to get real answers from people you know and trust. At Country Insurance and Financial Services, we'll help you feel secure for everything life has coming your way. Country, real answers for real financial security. Because this is real life.
This is our country.
What does it take to be the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year? Power, quality, and fuel economy. The Toyota Tundra, the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Now get 0% APR financing or $3,000 cash back. Find out more at ytundra.com. It's a great way to keep moving forward.
Register for Bracket Challenge 2008 on ComcastSportsNet.com, and you'll be entered into a random drawing to win a 2-night trip to Las Vegas, including round-trip vouchers on Southwest Airlines. The Bracket Challenge 2008, brought to you by Farmers Insurance in Pontiac, only on ComcastSportsNet.com.
After the game, catch the latest edition of Chicago Tribune Live on Comcast Sportsnet. David Kaplan, Tribune writers, sports stars, and celebrities discuss the day's hottest sports topics and set the table for the night ahead. Don't miss Chicago Tribune Live after the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Wholesale changes for the Chicago Cubs. The only player who has remained in the ballgame is Felix P.A. in center. Ronnie Cedeno also stays in to play short. Eric Patterson in right. And everybody else is different. Tim Leahy on the mound. Left to right in the outfield, Merton, P.A., Patterson. And third to first, Centrone, Cedeno, Fontenot, Hoffpower with Coy Hill catching. And Joey Gathright will pinch hit for the Royals. Ball one from Leahy. Slapped on the ground, and that'll be an infield hit. Cedeno with a nice stab over there, but Joey Gathright runs as well as anybody in the game today. And you saw by his swing, I mean, you can immediately tell how fast Joey Gathright is by the swing. All he's trying to do is make contact and then run.
Make contact on the ground. Gets the top half of the ball, chops that ball down on the ground, watches it the whole way. Probably didn't need to do that, but once Ronnie Cedeno had to go more than a couple of steps, and definitely once he left his feet, there was no chance to get Gathright at first.
And Leahy best served to keep an eye on Gathright. Well, believe it or not, Tim Leahy was drafted as a catcher. Runner goes. Here's the throw by Coy Hill. And the runner's safe.
A nice quick release by Coy Hill. Unfortunately, couldn't get much on the throw. Looked like he didn't have a real good grip on that ball. One hopped it to Cedeno at second base. Coy just took a little extra time getting that ball out of the glove. The ball looked like it beat him to the base, but because Ronnie had to come up with the short hop, allowed Gathright to slide underneath.
6'6", 250.
That's a big catcher.
That is a big catcher. Well, I don't know how good he was behind the plate, but he hit 202 in 2004, and that pretty much ended his position player days. And he's trying to make this club as a short reliever. A 1-1 on the way to DeJesus. He pulls it on the ground and move that runner up. Hoffpower backing up. Safe as DeJesus at first, as Leahy could not beat him to the bag. Royals using their speed this inning, and they are threatening big time.
DeJesus does his job, hooks the ball to the right side. A slight delay on the mound by Leahy. And that's all the Royals needed to turn that into an infield base hit. Like a Hoffpower with a nice play down the first base line. And normally I would agree with the play that he made. Stopping his momentum, getting under control, running at his target, and making a nice underhanded toss. The one time that I like an exception to that is a play just like that. When you're throwing right down the first baseline, leading that pitcher to the base, I think then it's okay to make a little bit of an overhanded toss, and might have been better served in that particular play. Almost all the time, the first baseman is better served to field the ball, get under control, run toward your target, and make the underhanded toss to the pitcher covering the bag.
Quick throw to first, and DeJesus is back in time. DeJesus has been on base 3 times. Once on an error. He tripled and scored their only run in the first. Called strike. Seven hits for Kansas City. The Cubs have 5. The big blast, a 3-run shot by Aramis Ramirez. A drive to right. Patterson will not be able to catch it. Going to go all the way to the wall. Gathright scores. DeJesus right behind him. Relay throw to the plate. Cut off by Hoffpauer. And the Royals are within 1, and they have the tying run in scoring position. Callaspo with all 3 RBIs for Kansas City.
Callaspo took advantage of the shift that the Cubs had on in the outfield. Felix Piet was shaded over into the gap in left center. Eric Patterson playing straight away in right field, and Callaspo splits that gap perfectly in right center field. Piet not even in your picture. This quick relay by Mike Fontenot, but too much speed on the bases for the Royals.
So Leahy in all kinds of trouble. Tien bounces it foul.
Once again, you see Felix Piet shaded way over into the gap in left center. Callaspo crosses him up by finding the gap in right center. And once again, you know, you'd like to give Callaspo credit for a nice piece of hitting right there, but Leahy probably missed his spot considerably.
Might have again there. That sliced into the left field corner. The Royals will tie it. As Callaspo scores, Tien will hold up with a double. It's 4 straight hits against Leahy, and Larry Rothschild's going to head out.
I mean, the coaches and the advanced scouts pour over all the information available, the spray charts. Where does a guy hit this pitch? Where does he hit that pitch? And you position your defense accordingly, and then it's up to that pitcher to pitch into the strength of his defense. If you're going to shade Felix Piet that far into the gap in left center against a left-handed hitter, well, it's incumbent upon the pitcher to pound that outside part of the plate and force him to hit the ball into the teeth of the defense. Make a mistake with an off-speed pitch on the inside part of the plate, that's when bad things start happening.
Left-hander Les Walren is up. And for the Royals, Billy Butler will hit for Shealy. Ground ball to second. And Fontenot throws him out. With Tien now 90 feet away and only 1 out. Word from the Cubs clubhouse is that Kosuke is fine. Just came out for precautionary reasons. He was probably set to come out anyway. Infield coming in, tie game, and the pitch to Herman, bounce to short. The throw's going to come to the plate. It's low, and Tien safe. It's now 5-4.
A real good base running by Tien that time. Going on contact at third base. Lonnie just moved a step and a half or so to his left. His throw to home plate was terrible. A long hop to Coy Hill, who couldn't hang in there and block the plate long enough. That ball hits a good 10 or 12 feet out in front of home plate.
So a 4-run 7th. I'm assuming that'll be a fielder's choice for Haman and an RBI. He's on the move, and Meyer sprays it foul. This was a 1-1 tie dominated by the starting pitchers until the bottom of the 6th when the Cubs scored 3 on the home run. The Royals have stormed back with 4 of their own in the 7th. Fastball outside.
Oh boy, for any Royal fans we may have watching the telecast today, I think this is something you should get used to. This Royals ball club has some speed in the lineup. They've got guys who can steal a base, can score easily from second base on a base hit. So some guys very unselfishly give themselves up, moving runners along, and I think that's the kind of baseball the Royals are going to have to play this year. They do have a little bit of power in their lineup, especially when Jose Guillen is healthy, but more than anything else, they've got speed, and they're going to have to play fundamentally solid baseball.
They hit 102 home runs. That's it. Least in the majors last year. Their leading home run hitter was John Buck, the catcher. He had 18. The pitch outside. Herman with his lead at first base. He runs, and he could pull up as Meyer walks. And here comes Lou, and that'll be it for Leahy. Rough ride for Tim Leahy. Pitching change on the way, and we'll be back to Mason.
It's NCAA March Madness, when passion, performance, and style make the difference. When the best of the best put it all out on the floor for the biggest event of the season, the Buick Pontiac GMC March Madness sales event. Now, get 0% APR for 60 months on every 2008 Lucerne, G6, Sierra 1500, and Yukon. Make a fast break to your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer by March 31st.
Hi everybody, Harry Carey here to introduce the newest choice for your television. Advanced TV from AT&T. Makes everything else look like it's in the Stone Age. If you were a caveman, would you have a pet saber-toothed tiger? I know I would. I'd name him Mittens.
Now with DVR included and $50 cash back.
It looks so great, I found myself watching figure skating. The combination of sequins and feathers is mesmerizing.
Sign up for a subscription to Vineline, the official monthly magazine of the Chicago Cubs. Vineline offers exclusive player features, team analysis, and minor league coverage. In print and now available online through the Cubs Club on Cubs.com. Visit the Cubs official website to order Vineline today. By far the roughest outing of the spring for Tim Leahy. He had allowed only 1 earned run prior to today, and he's on the hook right now for 4 runs, and he could be on the hook for more than that unless Les Walren can get him out of this inning with no other damage done. Angel Baroa will bat for Tupman.
One thing that's especially tough for managers, especially late in the ball game in spring training, leading up to the final week, is trying to get the matchups you'd like to see for your pitchers coming in from the bullpen. Les Walren came in here. Tupman, the scheduled hitter, was a left-handed hitter, but Royals immediately go to a right-handed pinch hitter. So you lose the advantage you thought you had bringing the left-hander into the game. And yeah, with the expanded rosters in spring, a lot of extra players over there, some minor league guys that are going to end up opening the season, you know, with the affiliates. It's tough to get those matchups. And once again, sometimes this is something you have to do in a minor league situation. Send your left-handed pitcher down to camp and tell him we want this guy to face all left-handed hitters today.
Baroa was the 2003 American League Rookie of the Year. And he takes a breaker in the dirt. 1-2. Baroa sends a fly to left center. Matt Merton will cut it off, make the catch, keep the runners at first and second. Tony Pena Jr. will be the 9th hitter of this inning. In there for a strike. Les Walren making the conversion from starter to reliever. Big swing by Pena. "24 starts last year for Iowa, 3 relief appearances. He won 11 games. He won 10 the year before at Iowa. Also made 10 appearances and 2 starts with the Cubs in 06. Had a 6.23 earned run average and went 0-1. He strikes out Pena, so Les Walren gets the job done. Faces 2 batters, retires both. Royals, however, score 4, now lead by 1.
Now is the time. Here is the place. And this is the word. Every Chevy car, pickup, and SUV is backed by the 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. And now get $1,000 purchase bonus cash on select Chevy vehicles. Well-qualified buyers can combine it to get 2.9% APR financing for 60 months plus the $1,000 purchase bonus cash on an 08 Chevy Cobalt. Log on now to ChevyDriveChicago.com. Check us out today.
Affordable elegance is yours at Menards. Add style to your room with tufted area rugs from Mohawk. Available in 8 patterns to complement any decor with 100% olefin for long-lasting durability and stain resistance. Only $39.95 each. Keep your carpet looking great with Hoover vacuums. The Hoover Elite Rewind is bagless with an easy empty bottom release dirt cup. Only $79.99. The Wind Tunnel Cyclonic with lifetime HEPA filter includes a powered cleaning tool. $189.
Save big money at Menards.
Lost in a daydream of blue and I feel so free. And then it's like I fall from the sky. Everything that I see is you. Oh, I adore you.
The 2008 Volvo XC90 SUV. Meet yours at the Get Together with a Volvo spring sales event. Lease or purchase one today and receive a Garmin Nav unit. Ends March 31st.
What is it? I can't read it. Join us next Monday, the 24th, against the Texas Rangers. We'll be on the air at 3 o'clock Central Time. Ron Santo will fill in for Bob. So the Texas Rangers and the Cubs here from Hohokam. Another huge crowd. 12,772 in the ballpark. And the Cubs will have to come back in the late innings after giving up 4 in the top of this 7th. Yasuhiko Yabuda is now the new Kansas City pitcher. And Felix P.A. will start it for the Cubs. Some other changes for them. We'll get to as many as we can, at least the ones we know about. Former Cub Jason Smith is now playing third base. Billy Butler's at first. I think the whole outfield is new right now. See, Micah Velas is at second. Ken Huckabee's catching. The kick and the pitch. Swing and the miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yabuda from the stretch with nobody on. Too high, 2-2.
Talked about the importance of that number 8 spot in a lineup, and now it has changed with Ronnie Cedeno coming into the ball game as a pinch hitter back in the 6th inning. Now Felix P.A. has another position player hitting behind him, and in particular this situation, trailing by a run, he just needs to find a way to get on base. Not going to happen. Hey, Cub fans, still looking to get tickets to the hottest Cubs games this year? Visit www.cubs.com and click on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of Cubs.com. See a Cubs game from the best seats at Wrigley Field? Check out StubHub at www.cubs.com, where baseball is always on.
Swing and a foul off the bat of Cedeno. Ronnie singled and scored in his first plate appearance in the 6th. Cotton candy.
Multicolored cotton candy. Seen pink and I've seen blue.
That one crushed by Cedeno deep to left center field. Going to hit the warning track and end up being a double. His second hit in 2 tries.
Well, the little bit of wind that we had earlier in the ball game certainly could have been used right there. Ronnie Cedeno making the bid for a long ball here, drives it to the gap in left center, short hops the fence out there, and the flag's hanging straight down out in left center field. Just a little wisp of wind, he has himself a home run up onto the bank.
He's up Darrell Ward. Darrell's put up a huge spring. 11 for 22 at the moment. 2 home runs, 8 knocked in, hitting .500. Drifts outside. In 2006, Yasuhiko Yabuda had a 2.08 earned run average in 4 appearances to help Japan win the World Baseball Classic Championship. He was a teammate of Kosuke Fukudome on that club. Chance to tie it here, down one with a runner at second and only one out. Merton on deck. Buddha with a look at Cedeno. Now the pitch goes right through the legs of the catcher Huckabee. Cedeno now at third. Meanwhile, 3-2 on Darrell Ward.
Veteran backup catcher Ken Huckabee just brings that glove up enough to allow that ball to get through that 5-hole. Right between the wickets. The glove has to be down on the ground to block that hole. Not something catchers like to do, but something you have to do.
That draws in the Royals infield. They want to cut off a ground ball and keep Cedeno from scoring as Ward fans 2 outs. It's a big strikeout for Buddha. Both outs in the inning have been punch outs.
This one once again on an off-speed pitch, some kind of a change-up that he left up and out over the plate, but Darrell Ward just couldn't wait back long enough to make contact. It's kind of been a pitching staff-wide phenomenon today. When the Royals pitchers get in trouble, they really go to their off-speed stuff. Straight change-ups, slow breaking balls. Try to keep the fastball out of the middle of the plate.
Final score today, the Yankees won that 7-inning exhibition game at Virginia Tech 11-0. Sure, a very emotional day for everyone involved. A 1-1. Good eye, a little low. 2-1. Torrey Hunter's had a big spring. He had another home run today for the Angels. They're in progress, leading Milwaukee in Tempe 6-4. He has 3 home runs in his first spring with the Angels.
Merton does get a fastball in a 2-1 count, but below the knees, just off of the outside corner. Good hitter's count right here. See if he gets another fastball to swing at.
Hoffpower on deck. Runner at third, 2 outs. We're in the 7th. Cubs trail by 1. Here it comes. A bouncer left side for Jason Smith. Quickly gets it over to Butler, and that ends the inning. Buddha gave up the double to Cedeno, but no runs. 5-4 Kansas City.
Hey, Nick, check this out. This business select thing is great. I get to be one of the first to board, and I get extra rapid rewards credit and a free drink.
Shh, keep it down.
What? No, I want to shout this from the rooftops. I got business select.
Hey, I know it's great, man, but if everybody knows about it, then everyone's going to do it.
Southwest Airlines' new Business Select. You're guaranteed to be one of the first to board. You get extra rapid rewards credit, a free drink, and it's fully refundable.
You're now free to be more productive.
It's NCAA March Madness, when passion, performance, and style make the difference. When the best of the best put it all out on the floor for the biggest event of the season. The Buick Pontiac GMC March Madness sales event. Now, get 0% APR for 60 months on every 2008 Lucerne, G6, Sierra 1500, and Yukon. Make a fast break to your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer by March 31st.
tonight. Don't miss a Blackhawk Classic from 1971 as the Hawks take on the Toronto Maple Leafs in an original six showdown. This special rebroadcast features Blackhawk greats Bobby Hall, Stan Mikita, and Tony Esposito. Then tomorrow, see Blackhawk legend Tony Esposito honored live before the Hawks home game against the Capitals in a special ceremony on Comcast Sportsnet. It all starts tonight at 10:30 with the 1971 Classic and continues tomorrow at 7 with Game On, the home series, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
It's late. We're in the 8th, and the Cubs trail the Kansas City Royals 5-4. New pitcher for the Cubs, right-hander Jose Escanio.
Escanio only 22 years old. He doesn't turn 23 until May 2nd. See his numbers so far this spring, making his 8th appearance. Had a cup of coffee with Atlanta last year, pitched in 13 ball games, a 1-1 record with a 5.06 ERA. He came to the Cubs in the Will Omen trade, Will Omen and Omar Infante for Jose Escanio.
Gathright got that 4-run 7th started with an infield hit and a stolen base. He would later score a run. He drags a bunt, and Escanio throws him out. So one quick out. And it's the second baseman, Mike Aviles. One and nothing. Good heat on that fastball, but it missed. Check swing grounder right at Micah Hoffpower. He'll take it by himself.
Talk about pitchers with good stuff, and a lot of people, I think, incorrectly think if you have good stuff, you can make a miss every time you throw a pitch. A batter should swing and miss. For me, good stuff means you get awkward swings from hitters, and they put the ball in play weakly, like we saw right there from Aviles. That fastball got on him a lot quicker than he anticipated, tried to check his swing, and tapped it meekly to Micah Hoffpower at first base.
Jason Smith, former Chicago Cub. He made his debut in 2001. If you don't remember that Jason Smith was a Cub, we'll forgive you. He had one at bat, appeared in 2 games in 01. That was it. He's also been with Tampa Bay, Detroit, the Rockies, the Blue Jays, the Diamondbacks, and Kansas City. In fact, last year he played with 3 teams. Busts his bat, and Espontino makes that easy play, and Escanio with a nice 1-2-3-8. Cubs will bat in the bottom of the inning, trailing 5-4.
It's NCAA March Madness, when passion, performance, and style make the difference. When the best of the best put it all out on the floor for the biggest event of the season. The Buick Pontiac GMC March Madness sales event. Now, get 0% APR for 60 months on every 2008 Lucerne, G6, Sierra 1500, and Yukon. Make a fast break to your Buick Pontiac GMC dealer by March 31st.
Game on. The home series has playoff implications, and only Comcast Sportsnet brings you all the action on the ice in crystal clear high definition. Tomorrow night, if you can't be at the United Center, then tune into Comcast Sportsnet for a special home game telecast as Dennis Savard and the Hawks take on Alexander Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals. It all starts tomorrow night at 7 with Chevy Blackhawks pregame live, plus a special ceremony to honor Tony Esposito live from the United Center, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Show us you embody Chicago sports, and you could win an all-expense-paid 3-night trip to Rio Vallarta and Riviera Nayarit, Mexico. Presenting the fans' best friend getaway. Brought to you by Apple Vacations, America's favorite vacation company. All you have to do is send a picture to Apple Vacations at ComcastSportsnet.com, depicting why you are Comcast Sportsnet's best friend. It's that easy. Send a picture and you could win. Don't miss out. Enter the fans' best friend getaway. Only from Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. Every game in HD, coming soon to Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
producer of today's Cubs spring training broadcast on Comcast Sportsnet is Pete Palma. Our director, Jim Angiel. Our associate producer, Josh Weingard. The executive producer of Comcast Sportsnet Chicago, Jim Corno Jr. Thanks to our great crew here in Mesa. As Michael Hoffpower leads off the last of the 8th. Our stage manager in the booth, Charlotte Gillum. Our technical director, Steve Byronberg. Our master control operators back in Chicago, Jason Howard and Anthony Diasio. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. Low and away. Alex Cintrone on deck. Doesn't have to worry as much with a left-handed hitter up there, but a very scary incident last Friday when he took a foul ball off the bat of Mark DeRosa in the right side of his face. And he said it will make him think about where he stands in the on-deck circle. Lifted foul out of play.
Well, you want to talk about no reaction time. You're, I don't know, standing probably 30, 40 feet from home plate, kind of focusing and concentrating on what you need to do when you get up there to the plate. Almost as an afterthought, you look up toward home plate as the ball gets into the hitting zone, and just no time to react for Alex, or for anybody else in the on-deck circle for that matter.
He's very fortunate he didn't suffer any broken bones, didn't lose any teeth. Nasty pitch, and Hoffpower strikes out.
Here'd be another off-speed pitch. Like a changeup sinking down below the knees. Hoffpower gets out in front trying to protect the plate with 2 strikes. Gets fooled by the speed of that pitch.
Maybe that was Daisuke's gyro ball we heard about, right? That mysterious off-speed pitch. Whatever it was pretty nasty.
I'm always a little skeptical when somebody thinks they have come up with something new in this game. I'll tell you, everybody has tried just about everything in this game. I don't think you can come up with a new pitch that hasn't been tried before. Maybe a new name for a pitch. A gyro ball. You can call it whatever you want as long as you're getting people out with it.
Well, you've heard the term, and really, before you ever heard split finger fastball, you heard about a fork ball. A few guys throw a palm ball. You have different grips on the changeup. You hear about the straight change, the circle change. So little tweaks on just about every pitch. Knuckle curve, a spike curve.
Yep. One of the best ones I heard was when a pitcher tries to throw a fork ball and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do and gets whacked, then they call it a spoon ball. The fork ball dives. It has some downward movement. Ideally, you get a swing and a miss or a ground ball, but when it just hangs there in the middle of the strike zone and gets whacked, that's a spoon ball.
Kerry Wood is trying to blend in a cutter into his repertoire. He hasn't really had any time to throw it his last 2 times out. He's thrown about a half dozen pitches in each of his last 2 outings. Feathered into center in front of Gathright for a base hit. And Alex Cintrone just pulled up with a hammy. Looked like he's grabbing the back of his left leg.
What I was just about to say, that's the one thing along with his experience that gives Alex Cintrone an edge in that backup utility player role. He's always been a pretty good offensive player, a switch hitter, but this is not good. And out on his front foot, just served that ball into center field, as you said, not even running that hard down the first base line, but clearly grabbing the left hamstring, and will come out of this ball game for some immediate treatments.
Lou's looking in his dugout saying, does anybody want a pinch run? Sam Foltz says, I'll do it. Boy, it's never a good time for an injury, but with less than 2 weeks before opening day. Well, let's hope it's just a quick day-to-day thing. Those hamstrings, as you know, can linger.
Talked about the little bit of an awkward swing, gets his weight out on his front foot right there and just kind of reaches out and pokes that ball into center field. Didn't show any ill effects until he got about 3/4 of the way down the first baseline, and that's it.
Eric Patterson lifts it high in the air and pretty well hit, but Gathright had so much time to get back there because there was a ton of hang time under it.
Well, Eric Patterson just missed that pitch. Really put a charge on it. Unfortunately got under it just a little bit. As you mentioned, gave Gathright with his great speed plenty of time to run underneath that ball. Yeah, just a matter of millimeters on that bat, and that turns into a long home run. As it is, just a lazy fly ball to deep right center.
Trey Hillman's going to make a move. I think Jimmy Gobble is scheduled to pitch today, and he's lefty, so we'll see if that's him. 5-4. We'll be back.
The thing about a College Illinois prepaid tuition plan is you can use your plan in any state at just about any college. We just called it College Illinois because all those other states wouldn't fit in the box. Visit collegeillinois.com.
With free incoming calls, you never use minutes on calls you get.
Oh, that's good, because I get a lot of calls.
Good.
Pretty popular.
Well, this is the perfect plan for keeping in touch with friends and family.
Someone's going to call, like, right now. You watch. Hello? Good thing I had it on vibrate.
Free incoming call plans. It's why U.S. Cellular is wireless where you matter most.
You'll be amazed where a pin can take you. Just sign your name and drive away with any new Mercury during the Mercury Signature Sales Event. With zero cash to its signing on Mercury Mariner, Mercury Sable, and Mercury Milan, the only midsize car with sync powered by Microsoft. Now drive off in a new Mercury Milan with zero down, zero first month's payment, and zero cash to its signing for just $239 a month. You've got to put Mercury on your list.
College Illinois prepaid tuition plans, available in regular, and now new mini size too. The buy a year plan from College Illinois. The smart, secure, 1 year at a time way to pay for college. Find out more at collegeillinois.com.
Coming up tonight at 6:30 on Sports Night, presented by Dex. A live report from United Center as the Bulls prepare for the Nets. And the Hawks have their backs against the wall. They might have to win out as their season winds down. Join Pat Boyle and Mark Shanowski for Sports Night, presented by Dex, tonight at 6:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. There's good symmetry here because Edie McClurg is from Kansas City. And remember the great line from Planes, Trains, Automobiles? Gobble, gobble. And here's Jimmy Gobble. She was the car agent, the rental car agent, when Steve Martin was not happy. And I am not going to quote his line from that famous scene. Sam Fold runs, and the pitch is low to Fontenot. No throw by Ken Huckabee. And Jimmy Gobble's not happy. I think he thought somebody had called time. Looked like he was pointing at the first base umpire saying somebody called timeout, but nobody did.
Well, a great jump by Sam Fold over there. First base, went on first movement. I'm not sure what Gobble was complaining about. I didn't see any kind of motion or hand signs by the first base umpire whatsoever. Well, that's a big old hang with him.
Single could tie it outside on Fontenot. 2-0. Might get a home run Sunday. versus the Angels.
I think he's tied for the team lead with 2, isn't he? Daryl Ward also has 2. I believe Soriano has a couple.
A 2-0. High fly. Herman tracking and catching just as he made it to the warning track. Well, Patterson and Fontenot both gave it a ride, but unfortunately came up short. Still 5-4.
Plan your next corporate or social function in one of Wrigley Field's private party accommodations. Wrigley Field offers a variety of private catered opportunities to host and impress your group. The Mezzanine Suites, presented by Nuveen Investments, has 4 convenient rental plans to fit all budgets and needs. For larger parties of 75 to 100, the Batter's Eye, located in the center field Bud Light bleachers, provides a unique view of the game. All private party accommodations provide generous food and beverage packages as well as VIP parking. Call 773-404-CUBS or visit Cubs.com.
Improve the look of any room with Thomas Lighting from Menards. The Tahoe collection features a brushed nickel finish with alabaster glass. This pendant or semi-flush ceiling light is $34, or choose the Cortland collection with a bronze Florentine finish and swirled alabaster glass. This 5-light chandelier is just $79. Stock up now on Sylvania light bulbs. This 13-watt compact fluorescent mini twist light uses 75% less energy than standard bulbs. Just $1.99.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey fans, this year when you can't be at home to watch the Cubs on TV, check out MLB.tv. You can watch every out-of-market game this season live online, even when you're traveling. And this year, live radio broadcasts are included with a subscription to MLB TV. For more details, visit Cubs.com, where baseball is always on.
We have hit the 9th. And right-hander Kevin Hart will try to keep the Cubs within 1.
Kevin Hart making his 8th appearance of the spring. Good numbers so far. He's yet to walk a batter or give up a home run in his 6 2/3 innings of work. Now, this is a guy I think that came in here. The idea was he was going to compete for a spot in the bullpen, but based upon the way he's pitched and the way he's emotionally and mentally attacked this game, I think he's won a spot in the bullpen easily.
Ken Huckabee will lead off the frame. Some changes after the Cintrone injury. Patterson comes into play second. Mike Fontenot moves from second to third, and Sam Foltz now playing right. Here's the pitch by Hart. Huckabee was late. Kevin works from the windup, something you don't see a lot of short relievers do. Kevin generally has been a starter in his pro career. I suppose, Bob, it's possible down the road Kevin Hart could jump back into a starting role, but not right now. 25-year-old is looking for a slot, and looks like he, as you said, has made it into the Cubs bullpen to start the season. Great finish to last year.
Well, the Cubs love his makeup. They love his stuff. He's got that cut fastball, which is a very effective pitch to get in on left-handed hitters. And that's a big problem for a lot of young right-handers coming up from the minor leagues, finding a weapon to use against the good left-handed hitters that they're going to face late in a ball game.
I love his picture in the Cubs media guide. If you get a chance to pick it up, it kind of says it all about the intensity of Kevin Hart. He is not smiling. He has a look like, I'm not messing around.
Take the picture and make it snappy.
Oh, yeah. Well,
3-2. Fold. No problem. 1 out. Bulls basketball in high definition tonight. The New Jersey Nets are in town. Check it out at 7 o'clock here on Comcast Sportsnet.
Sell out badly by a breaking ball, but as the at bat continued, he got a better read on it, so change the attack, go to something hard, that time a cutter away.
91 miles an hour on that cut fastball. Now, when you saw a good cut fastball, did it kind of look like a half a breaking ball, half fastball? Because the reaction of Butler was to wait a little bit, and he couldn't.
It has an odd spin to it. It's not a pure backspin like you would see with a four-seam fastball. The ball is kind of at a tilt, and it still has backspin, but it's tilted just a little bit, so it's a hard pitch to identify unless you know in advance that that's a pitch that a guy will throw you a cutter. Then you have a better idea when you actually see it during the course of an at-bat. But if you've never faced a pitcher before and you don't know he has a cutter, it will confuse the best of hitters. Everything about the delivery tells you fastball, but then there's movement away from a right-handed hitter. Very subtle movement, just enough to get the ball off the sweet spot of the bat, out toward the end, get an easy out. Most of the guys that threw anything that resembled a cutter when I played were cheap. Throwing that scuff ball.
Off the end of the bat foul.
It's become a much more fashionable pitch, especially with Mariano Rivera really kind of making it a marquee pitch. That's his go-to pitch in all situations, and it's basically what he's made his career on, throwing that cut fastball when every hitter in the American League knows it's coming and you still can't do anything with it.
And there are some lefties. Andy Pettit, Al Leiter, used to be his signature pitch. Darren Oliver, another guy who throws the cutter. Nice job by Hart. Last chance for the Cubs. 1 to tie, 2 to win.
Hi everybody, Harry Carey here to introduce the newest choice for your television. Advanced TV from AT&T. Makes everything else look like it's in the Stone Age. If you were a caveman, would you have a pet saber-toothed tiger? I know I would. I'd name him Mittens.
Now with DVR included and $50 cash back.
It looks so great, I found myself watching figure skating. The combination of sequins and feathers is mesmerizing.
You'll be amazed where a pen can take you during the Lincoln Signature Event. Now, drive select 08 Lincoln vehicles with zero cash due at signing, including the Lincoln MKZ with exclusive sync technology standard. Get zero first month payments, zero down, and zero cash due at signing on Lincoln MKZ for $369 a month. From the fastest growing full line of luxury vehicles, Lincoln.
When it comes to planning for the future, trust Country Insurance and Financial Services to keep you moving in the right direction. With down-to-earth, straightforward advice, Country Insurance and Financial Services is always there to keep you on the right path. Country. Real answers for real financial security. For your family, for you, for a lifetime.
This is our country.
Time to check in on today's Nissan Drive of the Game. At the time, it put the Cubs ahead by 3. One swing of the bat, Aramis Ramirez. The John Bale breaking ball over the right field fence. And that was today's Nissan drive of the game back in the 6th. However, the Royals answered right back with 4 in the 7th. And it's rare when a team can have its closer pitch with a 1-run lead in the 9th, but that's the case today for Trey Hillman. He goes with Joakim Soria in a safe situation.
His numbers on the spring last season for the Royals. His rookie season saved 17 ball games, a 2-3 record with a 2.48 ERA in 62 ball games. Yeah, you're right. This doesn't happen very often in a spring training game where your pitching is lined up so that your closer is asked to come on and get the last 3 outs with a 1-run lead.
Switch hitter Coy Hill will start things. And here we go, strike 1. Soria was a Rule 5 pick, plucked from the Padres back in December of 06. Signed originally by the Dodgers out of Mexico in 2001. From Monclova, Mexico. Called strike 1 and 2.
Cubs need a runner here.
Soria has a sign from Huckabee. Just missed. Felix PA is next, and then Ronnie Cedeno. Good eye, full count. PA has gone the distance. Busted bat liner, and Baroa makes a catch. Well, Coy Hill, he has the entire bat. It's just split right down the middle.
Yeah, he's got about 34.5 inches of bat there, but only about 20 ounces. The rest of the barrel of the bat goes flying out into the middle of the infield, split lengthwise. I don't think Soria never really saw that bat coming his way until it bounced past him.
I think I read it was Carlos Delgado, I think, got hit by a broken bat. Well, the Mets have had all kinds of injuries. A bloop single for PA. Tying run is on base. I'll tell you, Bob, it seems like every day I read about another New York Mets injury.
Delgado was hit with the sharp end of a broken bat that came flying down his way. I believe he was a runner at third base and got hit with the broken bat. Had to immediately come out of the ball game. Well, the real surprise is it doesn't happen more often. We talked about the on-deck hitters, how close the dugouts are to home plate. Of course, the position players, depending on situation, are very close to home plate, and the way the bats are breaking nowadays, a very dangerous situation.
Soria will keep a watchful eye on Felix. PA not running, and it's fouled back off the catcher. Ronnie played on the Venezuelan Winter League champion Aragua Tigres in the offseason. Had 11 RBIs in the playoffs.
And we know Felix PA has good speed. This is where you'd really like to see him try to steal a base. Although the count 0-2 now against Ronnie Cedeno, it's a ripe situation for a pitch out as well. This is where a little patience to the plate, give that base stealer an opportunity to get himself into scoring position, make your job a lot easier at the plate. And now Ronnie Cedeno is going to have to battle down 0-2.
If you just joined us, Jason Marquis with a solid outing. 1 run in 5 innings plus. Kosuke Fukudome came out of the game after being hit by a throw on a stolen base attempt, but he's fine. Ball seemed to catch him in the neck area. A fly to right. Herman coming over near the line. Long run, drops, it's fair. This could tie it. PA coming around third. He's going to score. Cedeno will be held at third. A bloop triple for Ronnie Cedeno right down the right field line, and now the Cubs can win it. It's 5-5.
You couldn't throw it out there any better than that. A very well placed blooper as you described it. It was perfectly placed. Defensive swing there with 2 strikes, just trying to put the ball in play. Ball was overrun out there in right field a little bit, and with PA speed, he sees that that ball has a chance to get down. He starts edging further and further off. Once he sees it on the ground, he turns on the afterburners. No hesitation from Mike Quaddy, sending PA all the way and giving Ronnie Cedeno a real good look as he chugged into third.
Casey McGee to win it as he fouls it back. Ronnie with 3 at-bats, a single, double, and a triple. Royals infield in. Casey McGee the batter. Here's a pitch. Fastball strike. Well, Lou wants to start tightening up the ship. Grab a few more wins. His team right now just 7-12 in the spring. I'd like to come from behind and win it here in the 9th. Ground ball through, and the Cubs win. Casey McGee with a game-ending RBI single. McGee now 12 out of 23 in Cactus League play, and the Cubs walk off with a win. 2 runs in the 9th to win it 6-5.
Oh, what a nice job of McGee to stay back on that slow breaking ball, stayed up in the zone where he could get a real good look at him with that Royals infield drawn in. Anything hit not directly at an infielder is going to get through into the outfield. Nice job, Casey. We'll see it once again. He gets out there on the front foot, a slight hesitation, and then quick with his hands through the hitting zone. There you see the Royals infield playing in no range whatsoever. They can't get to it. Ronnie Cedeno will walk home after his triple tied the game.
So a thriller in Mesa, and the Cubs come up with their 2nd consecutive win. Split squad action tomorrow as the Cubs will try to win 3 in a row for the first time here in March. The W flag is flying as the Cubs improve to 8-12, and the loss drops the Royals to 10-10. And our next spring training broadcast of Cubs baseball will be next Monday, March 24th, from right here at Hohokam Park. Ron Santo will join me when the Cubs host the Texas Rangers. Broadcast time, 3 o'clock Central Time. Once again, our final score today, the Cubs 6, the Royals 5. Now for my partner Bob Brenly and our entire Comcast Sportsnet crew, this is Len Casper saying goodbye from Mesa. David Kaplan with Chicago Tribune Live is coming up next. You've been watching Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet.